Two names rich in history: Bartons, our family-run business with over 100 years of experience in drinks distribution, and Lancashire Cricket, a club drenched in tradition, heritage and globally recognised moments. Since 1917, Bartons has been supplying the finest wines, soft drinks and premium beverages across the UK, partnering with world-class brands to bring unforgettable experiences to every occasion. Now, we're excited to announce we will be bringing that same passion to cricket fans at Emirates Old Trafford. As the official wine, spirits and soft drinks partner of Lancashire Cricket, we're elevating matchday experiences, hospitality and celebrations across the next 3 years. From the first ball to the final cheers, Bartons is here to make every moment one to savour. Keep an eye out for some familiar brands such as Guinness, Celavino, VK Hooch and Britvic. Bartons and Lancashire Cricket, partnership built on passion, unforgettable moments and history.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary.
Welcome to the opening day. Oh, that is a wonderful shot.
This is a call for hungry dreamers and hard-working self-believers. Success is down to more than just luck and talent. It's striving to be the best, breaking the boundaries and never giving up. Are you ready to become your best self? Are you ready to unlock your greatness? So what are you waiting for? This is Education Evolved. This is UA 92.
When I was a kid, there was no professional women's cricket. I didn't even think that women could be professional sports people.
Especially early on, it just didn't really seem like there was a career in it.
To support myself around cricket, I had to work at the petrol garage.
I was the only girl, so I stood out.
I'd love for young girls to be able to dream about being an athlete and it to be achievable.
Thanks to the Hilton funding my contract, it's allowed me to play the game that I love all day, every day.
We're like an engine and we need to be fueled with the right gas.
Without funding, we can't be visible. You can't be what you can't see.
As a team, it feels like we're breaking boundaries.
Thunder and Lancashire always want to put women's cricket at the forefront, and now I think that's really shining through.
It's mad to think that without the Hilton funding, like, we wouldn't be playing cricket every day, training.
Well, we could be, but we wouldn't have any money.
We wouldn't, yeah, true.
Life can be extraordinary, unforgettable, amazing. Life is about the joy of being together. It's sharing every moment, indulging your passions, and making memories that stay with you forever. Life is live. The thrill of the game. The buzz of a network, the enrichment and fascination of a cultural soiree. And we feel every sensation because we're right there with you, always on, always fully engaged to help provide that extra spark, heighten emotions, and make every occasion simply unforgettable. Because the best live events don't just happen to us, they become a part of us. forever associating your brand with life itself. Live can be extraordinary, and we're ready to help you make the most of every inspired, delicious moment. Welcome to Sodexo Live.
Each match is played by 2 teams of 11 players. Some are batters, some are bowlers, and there's 1 wicket-keeper. Both teams have a chance to bat and bowl. Look out for the coin toss. That's how they decide which team bats or bowls first. Each team has 20 overs to score as many runs as possible. The team with the most runs wins the game. 1 over is made up of 6 good deliveries from the bowler. To score runs, batters hit the ball and run between the stumps. If the ball reaches the boundary, it's 4 runs, and if it gets there without bouncing, that's a 6. While the batting team is scoring runs, the bowling team are trying to stop them and get the batters out by taking wickets. A few ways batters can be out are bowled, caught, run out, stumped, and LBW. Watch out for signals from the umpires, 4s, 6s, wickets, and these when a bad delivery has been bowled. Bad deliveries add runs to the batting team's score, and the bowler must bowl an extra ball. If you see the umpire doing this, the next ball is a free hit, and the batter cannot be out, bowled, caught, LBW, or stumped. And those are all the basics you need to know to get behind your team in this year's Vitality Blast competition.
"1864. We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. 'Cause it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss, Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the red rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the red rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the red rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues, internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the red rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the red rose together.
special. Look, I enjoyed it away last year. As I said, I was teased with it with the weather last year, but fielding out on the boundary for the most part of the game, I really enjoyed the interaction with the crowd. The atmosphere was amazing, and I think, you know, in T20 cricket, in cricket all around the world, this is why we play the game, to get this opportunity to play on a big stage in front of fans, absolutely having a ball, singing along, dancing, you know, throwing banter and abuse here and there is all part of it, particularly my way, but I absolutely love it. I wouldn't change anything, and yeah, very grateful to play in my first Roses derby here at Old Trafford.
Well, that was Chris Green, the Australian T20 star, who's been part of Lancashire's setup now for a couple of seasons. On the losing end on Friday evening, the return fixture comes live from Headingley tonight. A very warm welcome to our coverage if you've just joined us. Lancashire win the toss and they bat first in a game which, if they win, they guarantee their place in the knockout stages, which they've not yet done mathematically. And if they win tonight, not only do they secure a quarter-final spot, that they also clinch a home quarter-final place as well. Yorkshire cannot qualify, but boy, would they love to do the double over their Roses rivals, and just for, at least for the time being, potentially dent their progress in the competition. However, Lancashire could still qualify even if they lose tonight, if the Notts Outlaws don't beat the Worcestershire Rapids in the game that's taking place right now at New Road. We'll keep you across the scores, and hopefully the story of North Group qualification through the course of the next few hours. Live from Headingley, Scott Reed and Phoebe Graham and Kevin Howells, your commentary team. We're just about set. Lancashire opening with Phil Salt and with Keaton Jennings. Yorkshire opening the bowling with Matt Milnes from this Kirkstall lane end with a slip in place. Here we go, first ball of the match. He's driven down the ground by Phil Salt, and he's driven it well enough and timed it successfully enough for 4 runs from the first ball of the match. Great start, Phoebe Graham.
Yeah, it's a delightful start from Phil Salt, driving on the up, and just a lovely, well-timed on drive. That's a very, very classy shot for 4 runs to get him off the mark.
It's a classy shot, without much drama, without much fuss, just a nice straight drive for 4. Milnes in, bowls again to Salt, wide and carved away, 4 more. Back-to-back boundaries. And he jumped into that in a flash.
He did indeed. It was a poor delivery by Milnes, gave him width, and Salt was able to use his arms there and just crunch that through the covers for 4. Looks like they'll be changing the field here, so bringing third up into the ring and putting a deep backward point. Moving fielders round as well for that straight shot that Salt played, but that was just a good delivery and a lovely shot to start the day. But he managed to punish that width.
Yeah, slip didn't last long. Just 2 deliveries and gets replaced. Milnes in, bowls again, driven away on the bounce. Good stop. I think there's a little bit of a crowd catch in there, as well as an appreciation that it was a good stop. It was hit firmly by Salt, 1 bounce to cover, and there is no run. Fine work inside the field.
Yeah, it was a great piece of fielding, wasn't it? Ball absolutely ricocheted off this big square that we've got at Headingley, and on the diving to his right, managed to field that.
Yes, Safiq with the stop. Here's Milnes over the wicket, bowls again. Oh, that's a lovely ball. That beats Phil Salt, coming back in past the inside edge through to Johnny Bairstow. Good comeback.
Yeah, it's a beautiful delivery. It's just nipped in off a length and just cut Phil Salt up, and somehow managed to miss leg stump. It's a wonderful delivery, and that's the extra nip and bounce and reward that you can get on these Headingley wickets as a fast bowler. If you find your length, you're always in it.
8 without loss. Milnes bowls to Salt again on the front foot and defending off the inside edge of the bat, and bouncing back down towards the keeper, Johnny Bairstow. There's a bit of rain around, I'm afraid. It's just started to rain. I don't think it's too heavy. It's certainly not heavy enough for the umpires to get a little nervous with it. But yeah, rain just starting to fall, so there's stewards putting on their ponchos to keep dry. There's supporters putting on their coats, and the odd brolly being popped up as well. Milnes in, bowls to Salt. That's run down towards wide third man, and he'll come back for 2. Pushes Lancashire on to 10 without loss. First over gone, and 10 runs coming off the first over. I say it's nothing that heavy. I don't think the umpires, in fact, they're not even really glancing at each other. They're not concerned just yet. And fingers crossed, we're just on the edge of something that will blow through. But yeah, a little bit of rain falling early on, 10 without loss.
Well, it's a nice start there for Lancashire. 10 from the first over. Phil Salt striking the ball and seeing it well, but also just showing on these Headingley wickets, if you find your areas, Milnes beating Salt with the bat, nipping the ball in, beating the leg stump and starving him of a few boundaries in some good deliveries there. So great start from Lancashire, but Yorkshire will still feel they're in the game here.
Yeah, Lancashire have gone for an extra seamer tonight. They've not picked Tom Hartley, the left-arm spinner. Instead, they've gone for kind of a bustling all-rounder in Tom Aspinwall, who will come in and bowl some sharpish medium pace. So they've not opted for the additional spinner. As Don Bess starts up from the rugby stand end, forward goes Keaton Jennings in defence, and the ball just drops away into the offside, and there's no run as we start the second over. Lancashire Lightning batting first, having won the toss. The man on strike, Keaton Jennings, calling correctly and fancied putting runs on the board, it would appear, tonight. 10 for no wicket, Lancashire Lightning. Jennings on strike. And it's Don Bess in from the football stand around the wicket and bowls, but a pace on to Jennings off the back foot, and that's pushed into the offside, and they'll scamper through for a quick single as a throw comes in towards the keeper's end. Jennings gets his first run, he moves to 1, and Lancashire Lightning are 11 without loss in the second.
That's nice running there by Keaton Jennings. He just cramps Keaton Jennings up there, does Don Bess, spinning the ball away from him but not giving him any room with his arms, but manages to scuttle through as he pushes cover 5 yards to his right.
Brings Salt back on strike. So left-hand, right-hand combination opening the batting for Lancashire. And Bess from around the wicket to the right-hander, Salt. Oh, he's playing a miss. He went after that, Phil Salt, made no contact, and through it went towards Johnny Bairstow.
Well, it was a lovely delivery by Bess, and Phil Salt just picked the wrong line there and completely mistimed that.
Bess in to Salt, down on one knee, swatting the ball out towards deep mid-wicket for a single. Moves on to 11, so Lancashire Lightning 12 for no wicket. Brings Keaton Jennings back on strike. We're in the power play, the fielding power play, so there's only 2, the batting power play, but there's only 2 fielders allowed outside the circle for the fielding side. As Bess comes in to Jennings, who hits it down the ground, it's in the air, and just clears the rope. I think that may have gone for 6. It has. Straight drive by Jennings. Long on was coming round to the boundary to his right hand side. Just couldn't quite get there. I think it's Matt Milnes. It's gone for 6 for Jennings. He moves to 7, 18 without loss.
Well, he hit it very straight, did Keaton Jennings, but it never felt like he'd got hold of all that delivery. And Matt Milnes running down straight towards the side screens, got a hand to it, but pushed it over the ropes in the end.
It's Bess to Jennings, trying to work the ball away into the onside. It just trickles out towards the offside, and Bairstow comes nipping round from behind the stumps to field, and there's a dot ball to end the second over. Well, there's a big hit for 6 in the middle of that. That's going to put a bit of a dent in Don Bess' figures early on. He's gone for 8 from his first over, but a positive start here. 2 overs in, Lancashire Lightning 18 without loss.
Yeah, it was a nice over from Don Bess, and an opportunity really with that boundary that Milnes just didn't manage to get his hand to and even stop that going for a maximum. But Lancashire will be pleased with the position so far.
Yeah, good start. Salt and Jennings. So Dan Moriarty. So we've had 1 over of pace from Matt Milnes, and then 1 of spin from Don Bess. We're going to see Moriarty with some pace off again from this Kirkstall Lane end with Phil Salt on strike. And here's Moriarty, left arm spinner, in and bowls. Salt trying to lash it away into the offside, but just bouncing up towards short extra cover. And there's no run. There's a ring of Yorkshire fielders inside the circle on the offside. 6 of them. There's Moriarty bowls again, And that's driven away into the offside for 4. I mentioned all those fielders, 6 of them inside the circle on the offside, and Salt somehow managed to find a gap in between them all. He moves to 15, 22 with that loss.
Yeah, he pierces the ball through cover, an extra cover there, fantastically off the back foot. A wonderful piece of batting from Salt. It wasn't able to really free his arms the delivery before and hit extra cover directly straight to him, and this time managed to find the gap fantastically.
22 for nil wicket. We're welcoming also our viewers on Lancs TV who are joining us for this game as well, so plenty of ways to follow the action across the BBC and via Lancs TV as well. 22 for nil wicket, and Phil Salt's on 15. Dan Moriarty is the man on strike. Here comes Moriarty, left arm around the wicket and bowls again. That's hammered firmly away by Salt. Goodness me, went straight to extra cover. Is that David Malan there? It's crunched it straight to the Yorkshireman inside the circle. Oh, that went quickly.
It did indeed, and that's the 3rd time he's played that shot. Rocked back onto the back foot and just let his arms slash at the ball. Twice hitting extra cover at speed, once finding the boundary.
Was Malan that got a heavy blow. That's worked into the onside by Phil Salt. Beats the dive of straight mid-wicket. Just beyond the circle, the ball trickles for a single for Salt. He moves on to 16. And it's 23 for nil wicket. We are in the 3rd over of the Lancashire Lightning innings. Phil Salt and Keaton Jennings, Lancashire's 2 opening batters. And it's Dan Moriarty. He's going to have a twirl at Jennings for the first time. Just changing the field with a left-hander on strike. Again, there's plenty inside the circle on the offside. A ring of fielders all inside the circle, 5 of them. And then 3 out on the leg side. 2 inside the circle, in fact 4 on the leg side rather, 2 inside the circle and 2 on the boundary. So there's a deep backward square leg and a deep mid-wicket. It's a short fine leg, mid-on, mid-off, cover, extra cover, and a couple of fielders at backward point. 23 with that loss. Here's Moriarty. Slowly creeping in and bowling left arm spin to Jennings. On the reverse, Keaton Jennings, but can't get it past one of those fielders inside the circle. Just behind square, so a dot ball.
Yeah, no reward for that reverse sweep. Fielders set up for that with how good Keaton is on the sweep. Got both a short third and a 45 in for that.
Moriarty to Jennings. That's lifted leg side. It's in the air. It's a big hit out towards the boundary, but not enough on it. Caught out in the deep. And Lancashire lose their first wicket, and it's their captain Keaton Jennings who's departed. I think that's Shafiq who's taken the catch on the leg side boundary. Lancashire 23 for 1, 3 overs gone.
Well, it's a simple catch in the deep. Keaton tries to hit the maximum, but doesn't get hold of that slog sweep, and it's a simple catch on the rope in the end. A nice piece of bowling, setting him up, having deep square, deep cow, and taking on the fielder out there in the deep. He'll be disappointed with that, will Keaton Jennings. Caught Shafiq, bowled Moriarty. Lancashire 23 for 1.
It's a big hit, that, Phoebe, isn't it? That boundary playing towards the right of the square. The shorter boundary is away towards the western stand, isn't it? That's a big hit for a left-hander out towards the leg side.
And we've seen within that over as well, Moriarty taking pace off the ball, so it makes it even more challenging to make good contact and ensure that you can get that maximum over the ropes. But he was nowhere near in the end. With Shafiq on the boundary, probably took it 5 yards in, really comfortable catch in front of him.
So Jennings departs, brings out Joss Butler to join Phil Salt. 3 overs gone. Lancashire Lightning 23 for 1 here, live from Headingley on the BBC Sport website and at BBC Sounds and across BBC Radio Lancashire as well. 23 for 1. Salt on 16. And Salt playing and missing as Milnes returns from the football stand end with a little extra bounce and carry there, Phoebe Graham, through to the keeper.
Absolutely, it seemed to jump up there off a length. He's just having a bit of communication to Butler at the other end, saying it's got that extra bounce. You are coming up the hill, so you do tend to get more stick and bounce from the Howard stand end, the rugby stand end at Headingley.
In comes Milnes and bowls to Salt, trying to swap the ball away again. Yeah, there's thick inner half of the bat, just deflects out towards the leg side, picked up at mid-wicket. There's no addition to the score. Good comeback this from Milnes. He went for a few in his first over.
He did it in the first over. He bowled some really nice deliveries that threatened Salt. When he found that length, it was really difficult to play, but Salt punished any width, anything full, and it almost was a battle of dots and boundaries. We're seeing a change of field here. So backward point comes up into the ring and they go out with a deep cow and deep square.
Milnes in, bowls driven by Salt. Good stop by Don Best, just inside the circle, in front of point, low down to his right. Gets something on that, stops the ball. Just a single for Salt, 24 for 1.
Yeah, he looked to take pace off that delivery as well, did Milnes. Salt just had to wait for it. How hard he was going at the ball there. I think Milnes expected something to go in the air there and potentially find a catch in the boundary, but Salt waited on that nicely and almost beat the fielder at cover inside the ring.
So Joss Butler on strike for the first time, facing Matt Milnes, bowling from the football stand end of the ground. Thank for that little shower's blown through. Milnes in to Butler, up on his toes, and just works the ball away into the onside. He's bouncing out towards mid-wicket and there's no run. We're told we might just catch a little bit of the odd passing shower, but on radar looks as though we're going to miss some of the heavy stuff towards the south of Leeds, which is due in the next half an hour or so. So hopefully that's the last of the drizzly rain tonight. 24 for 1. Milnes at the top of his mark, loops back round and sets off once more with Butler on naught. 24 for 1, Lancashire Lightning. In comes Milnes, bowls to Butler, pushing away off the front foot. And then taking a single, as it's fielded by Don Bess at cover point. And Lancashire move on to 25 for 1. The ground is filling up nicely, and say it's not too far away from being a sellout again here, as it was on Friday evening at Manchester. The conditions are a little different. It was absolutely boiling, wasn't it, on Friday? The temperatures through the roof on Friday, but overcast, and I'm going to say we've already had a little bit of a shower. Not quite the heat wave of Friday evening in Manchester. Mad Friday in Manchester with the Roses fixture and Oasis playing as well. 25 for 1. Milnes for Yorkshire comes in and bowls to Salt. That's worked through vacant mid-wicket. Maybe just for a single. It is. Shafreek's come round quickly from the boundary to field. Just the 1 to Salt, but he does keep the strike and he's on 18. Butler's on 1. We've had 4 overs of this Lancashire Lightning innings, and the Red Rose are 26 for 1. 4 gone.
Yeah, it's a good over from Milnes after his first over that was punished a little bit through some poorer deliveries, but he's found his length nicely there, and both Salt and Butler have struggled to score off it, and just 2 from the over, which is a real success when you're bowling to Joss Butler and Phil Salt in the power play. It looks like they'll be turning to Will Sutherland for the 5th over this power play.
Yeah, just to run through those sides for you again, if you've just joined us, Bairstow and Milan get the headline axe with the bat for Yorkshire, albeit there was a certain Will Luxton who had a pretty good night out on Friday at Old Trafford, making 90 not out in that Roses fixture. And then Wharton, Shafreek, Sutherland, Best, Thompson, Chauhan, Milnes and Moriarty. Lancashire have Butler and Salt batting at the minute. Here comes Sutherland over the wicket, swings away down the leg side. That'll be called a wide by the umpire. The score moves to 27 for 1. So Lancashire have Keaton Jennings and Phil Salt, Joss Butler, Matthew Hurst, Luke Wells, Chris Green, Ashton Turner, Jack Blatherwick, Tom Aspinwall, Luke Wood and James Anderson, making the Lancashire side again. As Sutherland is back in and bowls to Salt. Salt hits it down the ground, over mid-on and over the rope as well for 6. Clubbed away by Salt. Down towards the boundary below as he moves to 24. It's 33 for 1.
Well, he got some nice shape on the ball, did Sutherland then, but missed his line, and Salt was able to maximise on that and put his hands through the ball. Was going down the leg side and able to get that up and over mid-on. for 6. With that comes a change of field, shaping the ball into Salt at the moment.
Yeah, back into Salt, he's worked it out towards the leg side, where that change that Phoebe mentioned included Matt Milnes being pushed out towards the deep mid-wicket boundary in front of the western stand. Single for Salt takes him to 25, 34 for 1. We spoke to Phil Salt in the build-up to the game. Went down to Old Trafford yesterday to have a chat with Phil Salt, and he said, we saw the very best of Yorkshire on Friday, so we know what to expect. That's the best that they can perform. And they've not seen the best of us yet. So he wasn't holding back, Phil Salt. He made it pretty clear that he thought, well, that's Yorkshire's best, fair enough. Yorkshire haven't seen what Lancashire can do. It's that's all good fun, I guess, isn't it? Teams sparring before the game starts. Sutherland into Butler. Butler looking to try and ramp it, but didn't really seem to get himself into the position to play the shot.
No, he didn't. He got into the classic Joss Butler position with his bat, but his body was nowhere near him, so he eventually just dropped his hands and let that go through. An unusual shot choice there.
Yes.
Given the line of the ball, it was much wider of him.
As Sutherland sets off for Yorkshire over the wicket and bowls to Butler. That'll be a wide down the leg side, tumbling stop by Johnny Bairstow. Yes, I was happy for you, Phoebe, as the professional cricketer amongst us, to take responsibility for describing that shot. Who am I to criticise Joss Butler not being in the right position? But he wasn't, was he?
He was nowhere near the right position. He almost was using his bat as a wand then.
Yes.
And put off Sutherland there by getting into the ramp position again, but he goes so late that Sutherland tried to counter that and push that down the leg side. Be interesting to see if he goes again here.
35 for 1. Sutherland bowls. It's wide this time, and he bottom edges it, Butler. Thick under edge bouncing down towards Bairstow. He just doesn't appear like he can quite just get going at the minute. Butler can't really quite find his rhythm a little bit. I mean, that was short and wide, and Butler's not been able to capitalise on it.
Yeah, 2 previous deliveries he went to look for the boundary option behind him by ramping, and that one, like you say, short and wide, put your hands through it, but didn't quite manage to do that.
In comes Sutherland bowls again. Ah, there we go. Butler comes to the party. Just needed to warm up a little bit, didn't he? Banged in short and wide, and Butler says, thank you, I've got my eye in. I'm going to hammer it over extra cover for 4 runs. He moves to 5, 39 for 1.
Yeah, a wonderful strike by Joss Butler, coming and advancing down the track. Put his hands through the ball almost like a tennis shot, up and over extra. Wonderful shot for 4.
He was just getting his eye in, wasn't he? Just warming up a little bit the previous deliveries. Sutherland bowls to Butler, short and slow with pace off. It's muscled leg side. Matt Milnes doing his best on the deep mid-wicket boundary to stop it. He got the dive in, Milnes, but in the end the ball runs onto the boundary rope for 4. And after a couple of awkward ramp shots and the missed chance to hit one on the short ball, he's got back-to-back boundaries, and Joss Butler's up and running. He moves to 9, 43 for 1.
Well, yeah, the power play has just changed momentum into Lancashire's camp now. From 17 from Will Sutherland's over brings them up to 43 for 1. Took a while for Butler to get going in that over, but as soon as he could he capitalised on those shorter deliveries and then rocked back and muscled that one through the leg side, piercing the gap between square leg and cow. It looks like they're turning to spin again to try and slow the blow here.
Yeah, they just sparked a little bit until, I mean, Salt's batted nicely, hasn't he? But Butler just took a delivery or two, which seems ridiculous to say. I mean, just Butler takes a delivery or two to get going. You just expect him just to tee off from word go, but he did just take a ball or two to get his eye and get the pace of the pitch. Moriarty returns. Salt goes high, leg side for 6. That's a massive hit by Phil Salt to the biggest boundary of the ground. Slug sweeping out through the leg side, and Butler moves to 31. Lancashire Lightning, as they start the 6th over, 49 for 1.
Well, that's how you clear the ropes out there. A wonderful strike, nearly went into the fans as well. Fantastic from Phil Salt into the deep.
The umpire Steve O'Shaughnessy just checking that the ball's still intact. He was bouncing around in amongst the spectators. Moriarty back in to Salt, trying to force it away back down the pitch and doesn't quite time it. Bouncing and bobbling back towards Dan Moriarty, and there's no run. 49 for 1 Lancashire in the 6th over. It's the final over of the power play. Phil Salt, 31 not out. Here's Moriarty. His left arm spin from around the wicket. Salt trying to find a way through the offside this time. He can't manage to work it in between a gap of those Yorkshire fielders, of which there are, again, 6 of them in the circle on the offside.
It's absolutely packed in that offside. Have to do well to pierce the gap through there.
Moriarty to Salt. He's going to try and pierce the gap. Oh, he has done. I think he's got a wee bit of good fortune because of the horrible bounce it took just in front of Milan, one of those 6 fielders inside the circle on the offside. But when it went past Milan, it was hit hard enough by Salt to go for 4. Yeah. And that brings up the 53 for 1.
Yeah, it just seemed to have an awkward bounce there in front of Milan. He dives forward but spins past him. And some fortune brings up the 50 for Lancashire. The way Salt's striking the ball at the moment, he's come out with purpose tonight.
35 for Phil Salt. Moriarty in and balls to Salt. Oh, it's a thick edge past Bairstow, down towards the boundary. Will it have enough to reach the rope? It's running towards the sponge, and indeed it does find the rope. Chauhan, the young spinner, chasing after it, but he couldn't catch up with it. Thick edge for 4 down to 3rd man. Salt moves on to 39. Lancashire Lightning are 57 for 1 with 1 ball left of the power play.
Well, he's swinging hard, is Phil Salt, and sometimes that's to your advantage when you get a thick outside edge like that, and it runs all the way to the boundary.
It's Moriarty to complete the over, and Salt just nudges this one out through the leg side, just beyond the edge of the fielding circle in front of the square leg umpire. And through he goes for 1. Salt's on to 40. That's the power play done, with Lancashire Lightning 58 for 1. 6 overs gone. Salt on 40. Butler on 9. They'll take that, Phoebe Graham, Lancashire Lightning.
Absolutely. It's a great start from Lancashire. And Phil Salt has come out here tonight, striking the ball wonderfully, but with some real purpose and intent. He's 40 from the power play. Butler's taken some deliveries to get going, but we've seen some flair. And as we exit the power play, Jordan Thompson comes into the attack.
He does. Thompson from the Kirkstall lane end with Salt on strike.
Just looking at the other day, Lancashire was 70 for 1 after the power play, and Yorkshire was 72 for 1. So that just gives a bit of an idea of the context of the game last week that was played against these two.
Here is Thompson in balls, just back of a length, that nips back in towards Salt as well. Deflects off his thigh pad down towards the keeper. That was a brutally high-scoring game, wasn't it, on Friday at Old Trafford? Lancashire was set 237 to win. It was a record equalling century by Bairstow. It was a record score for Yorkshire against Lancashire in Rose's fixtures. It was some pretty grim bowling figures on show on Friday evening back in Manchester, as Thompson is into Salt, that's wide and carved away through the offside out towards deep point. Salt moves on to 41, and Lancashire Lightning are now 59 for 1. Brings Joss Butler back on strike. Yeah, it was a funny run, Chase. I mean, in so much that after 6 overs, you just mentioned the scores there, and they were pretty much level. After 10 overs at the halfway stage, Lancashire were pretty much level, but sustaining that for 20 overs to try and get 237 in the end, as it often is the case, is just too many runs to get.
Absolutely, and I mean, they had the lineup to do it. They've got the similar batting lineup in top 6 tonight, so you always had confidence and belief that they could do it, but I think what they needed was that continuity of a batter staying at the crease for the duration of the 20 overs to chase that down. And when they lost Butler, it felt like the game was really gone, because that run rate just seemed to get bigger and bigger to almost impossible for Lancashire last week.
As Thompson comes over the wicket and balls low full toss, whipped off the pads by Butler. It's in the air. Oh, he's gone for 4. For a second, I thought that James Wharton on the deep mid-wicket boundary may be in a position to take a catch. He quickly realised that, well, that was going to bounce in front of me, and then he turned his back on the ball. As a result, he's gone for 4.
Well, that was one of the most unusual pieces of cricket I've seen. Jordan Thompson goes for the Yorker, ends up being a low full toss to Buttler, goes out in the deep. We think there's an opportunity out at Cow, doesn't quite carry to James Wharton, and he turns his back to the delivery.
Thompson to Buttler, in and balls, and Buttler with one that comes back in towards him, clips it out towards Wharton, who gets a huge cheer from the crowd behind him, having successfully taken the catch. No, the pickup rather. Buttler gets a single, moves to 14, 64 for 1. You don't often see that, do you? Really? I mean, he's just turned his back on it.
Yeah, that's the strange thing with the fielding, really. You can put your body on the line no matter what.
Worked away by Salt out towards backward point, and sharp piece of work by Shafiq to field the ball, so no run. He just a very sheepish hand of apology came up from James Wharton to his teammates.
Yeah, that's only funny really if you do win the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it goes down to the final ball, James Wharton won't be laughing about that.
Thompson balls again to Salt, who whips it off his hip behind square on the leg side for a single. And that is the end of Thompson's first over. I mean, he's gone for 7, but 4 of them was that rather peculiar attempt to stop it. And as James Wharton runs past Jordan Thompson, he does again just give him a little wave of apology. For whatever reason, he went to kind of take evasive action. He turned his back. He got himself out the way of the ball. Whether I don't know what it could have been, Phoebe, as to why he would do that.
Yeah, he potentially could have lost the ball in the stands.
Yeah.
But if he had anticipated that well enough, it had been running forward and it had been a diving front catch. It had been a tough one, but we see players go for that time and time again, where you're diving forward and then shielding your body and your face. But there was no attempt of that. There was just a turn of the body. So, yeah, one that you won't want to remember.
Leg spinner, Chauhan into the attack. Balls to Salt, goes high. Leg side, he's in the air. He could be in bother here, Phil Salt. He is. Caught out on the deep backward square leg boundary. Might even be by James Wharton, but we'll confirm the catch in a moment. Salt departs. First ball by the leg spinner, Chauhan. Finds the wicket of Phil Salt. He's gone for 42, and Lancashire Lightning are 65 for 2 at the start of the 8th over.
Well, that's a huge wicket for Yorkshire. And Chauhan, it's the first delivery he's seen from Chauhan. He flights it up, he entices Phil Salt, and with a big slog sweep into the deep, it goes high but not far. He keeps checking his bat on the way out, but unfortunately he didn't get all of it, and he's taken in the deep.
Yeah, Will Luxon with a catch. I guess for big skying catches to take, that was as nice as you're going to get. He didn't really have to move. He was nice straight away. He was in the perfect position. Takes the catch. It's a 42 for Phil Salt. Caught Luxton bowled Chauhan. 65 for 2 Lancashire Lightning.
That's the second dismissal we've seen like that tonight. So Keaton Jennings caught on the slog sweep. Phil Salt caught on the slog sweep. It's a big boundary out here.
It is out towards that, well, the eastern side of the ground, isn't it? Chauhan to Ashton Turner, the new batter. In and balls to Turner. Swatted out towards the leg side. Along the ground, out towards deep mid-wicket, and they'll hurry back for 2. Turner off the mark straight away. He moves on to 2. Lancashire Lightning 67 for 2. In the pitch we're using, there's a couple of pitches on from the Test match wicket, nearer towards the western stand, which is by far the shorter of the 2 boundaries. Chauhan in to Turner. Oh, he's dragged on! 2 wickets in the over. Bottom edge by Turner, dragging it back onto his stumps, and Jafar Chauhan makes the perfect start for him in this Roses fixture. Salt and Turner depart in the same over. Lancashire Lightning 65 for 3.
Well, it's a fantastic wicket for Chauhan. Flights it up again. Turner on the back foot and just carves that into the wickets. It's a bottom edge, taking the bails off. A huge wicket for Yorkshire. And I think what we've found tonight is if you find your length on this wicket, it's difficult to score. And that was a great length again by Chauhan, enticing Turner from ball 1.
Turner quickly in and quickly out. Luke Wells is the new batter, joining Joss Butler, who's been watching this at the non-strikers end. Powerful start by Lancashire Lightning in the power play. But then Yorkshire fighting back in this Roses fixture, live from Headingley, where there's a little bit of early evening sunshine just trying to burn through. There's still plenty of cloud cover. The floodlights are on. Floodlights in the shape of the white rose. And the bulk of the supporters are obviously Yorkshire fans and will have enjoyed the last couple of deliveries, seeing a couple of quick Lancashire wickets depart. Wells twirls the bat, and Chauhan with his leg spin is in and bowling to Luke Wells. He's pressing forward, leaning into it, and lunging forward Luke Wells, and the ball deflects off his bat, popping out towards short extra cover. And there's no run. A couple of balls left of the 8th over. Chauhan for Yorkshire, in and balls to Wells. That's drilled firmly away along the ground through extra cover for a single. Wells moves on to 1, and Lancashire Lightning are 68 for 3 with 1 ball left of the 8th over. Long off, long on. There's a deep mid wicket, a deep backward square leg, and a deep point. Short fine leg, short third man, backward point and extra cover. Great first over this by Chauhan. In and balls to Joss Butler, who takes a single through mid-off, and he'll keep the strike. And Chauhan has conceded 4 runs but picked up 2 wickets. So what a start for the young leg spinner. Gets a great round of applause from the Yorkshire supporters and from his teammates. And Lancashire having just to rebuild here, Phoebe Grant, having lost those 2 quick wickets. 8 overs gone, 69 for 3.
Yeah, 2 massive scalps there for Chauhan. Phil Salt sweeping against the spin and goes for the big boundary in the eastern terrace. Doesn't get hold of the ball at all, and a simple catch out in the deep for Will Luxton. And then Ashton Turner going back, playing with the spin and bottom edge onto the stump. A little bit unfortunate, but great areas from Chauhan. So he'll be chuffed with that over. Just 4 from it, 2 big wickets. Bit of a change of fortune here.
There is. Sutherland returns for Yorkshire, in and balls, swings in towards Butler, who clips it off his pads. Out towards deep backward square leg for a single. It's interesting with the way that the 2 teams have lined up. Yorkshire spinners, Bess, Chauhan, Moriarty. Lancashire have gone with the extra seamer tonight in Aspinwall. They've not picked Hartley. So you've got Chris Green as your frontline spinner, and maybe Luke Wells with a little bit, but the extra seamer. So both sides have looked at the pitch and maybe seen things differently.
Yeah, it looks like they've judged it very differently tonight, but the spinners worked for Yorkshire so far. But what's really enticed the Lancashire batters is this big boundary and taking it on. And I think probably a little bit of smarter batting, and they could only be 1 down here.
Sutherland bowls, flicked away by Wells behind square on the leg side for a single. Doubles his score, moves to 2. Lancashire Lightning are 71 for 3.
And they're the quick things that Yorkshire can learn from going into the second innings, that actually it's a big boundary to take on into the eastern terrace. Take on the western terrace, that's a nice little plink into the into the party stand.
It is. There's Sutherland's in and bowling to Butler. That's a wonderful shot, up and over mid-off, 1 bounce and over the rope. And there's 2 young cricket supporters who've gone absolutely tearing after the ball in the stand down below, trying to hunt the ball that Joss Butler hit for 4. He moves to 20, 75 for 3.
Oh, it's a wonderful strike of the ball by Butler, over-pitched by Sutherland, but he just works that up and over extra effortlessly for 4, does Butler.
Sutherland bowls to Butler, who waits for it and cuts the ball away. Fielded inside the circle. backward point by Chauhan, and there is no run. 75 for 3 in the 9th over. Live from Headingley, T20 Blast fixture, the Roses match between Yorkshire and Lancashire Lightning. Yorkshire can't qualify. Lancashire have yet to mathematically qualify, but they could do that and secure a home tie tonight. Back of a length delivery, pulled by Butler for 4. Well, you mentioned it's a plink to the party stand away to our right, Phoebe, but that was thumped by Butler on the pull shot. He moves to 24.79 for 3.
Well, it's the second time Sutherland has gone slow and into the wicket, and both times punished by Butler, who's rocked back and pulled that so crisply through the leg side and pierced square leg and a very, very straight cow.
In comes Sutherland, bowls to Butler. Flashed off his pads down towards backward square leg for 1. And Butler keeps the strike. I reckon he does. Yeah, 25 for Butler. 2 to Wells. 80 for 3, Lancashire Lightning. 11 overs gone, 9 to go. Well, Butler's there, Phoebe. And while Butler's there, Lancashire's still eyeing up a big score here. Kevin will come and join you for a few overs.
Absolutely. And a wonderful piece of batting from Butler. That over, ball over pitched. Throws his hands through the ball effortlessly up and over extra, and then anticipates the next ball will be then slower and into the pitch, and rocks back and pierces that through the leg side for 4. He's just class, and he's looking in good form tonight, Kevin.
Well, let's see, because the demise can come so quickly. Even if you're in good form, it's that sort of a game. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
I do love a Roses night. And I love a Roses night where the cloud disappears a bit as well. It's got a little bit brighter, hasn't it? The lights really were taking effect. We were a little concerned. There was a bit of rain, just a few spots of rain, but that seems to have moved off. It looks a picture out there tonight. And it's Butler who's on 25, and this one is worked by Butler just for a steady single there on the onside, and he moves up to 26. So 81 for 3 in the 10th over. You know, there's a lot to be said at this ground, and many, but this ground especially, for going straight as well. You know, these boundaries either side, I mean, one is a bit shorter than the other, but you go straight. I mean, is it Livingston in a 100 match who supposedly cleared the far end?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
he went up and over for Birmingham Phoenix into the rugby ground.
Wells is on strike, he's on 2. He doesn't go straight, and he's certainly not going to go over the stand with that. He's going to pick up 2, though, because it wasn't fielded that well out there, just a bit of a stumble out in the deep, and he sort of kicked the ball further on, which I think probably if they really worked hard there was a 2 there anyway, but that made certain of it.
Yeah.
So Wells moves to 4, 83 for 3.
Sloppy bit of fielding out there from Jordan Thompson. They've had a few blunders in the field so far of Yorkshire, and that's something that Lancashire have spoken about, that they want to improve.
And this one is driven for a single by Wells. He can barely, I mean, he can move one leg in front of the other, but barely muster enough energy on that one, because it's a nice gentle.
He's almost walked and
Well, he
sauntered
has.
down to the other end, which
Again,
you don't
wasn't
see a lot in T20 cricket.
It wasn't even a walk, was it? It was just slumber along. It's a Roses match, Luke, come on. 84 for 3 midway through the over, driven by Butler. Bit more urgency on that one. They'll pick up a single to the long off boundary. I do wish you'd stop talking about cow at this ground, because every time you do it, it reminds me of the horror story, which is going back probably before you were born even, of the pantomime cow who came a cropper here at a test match. Wells on 5, round the wicket, in bowls, ooh, wide. Yeah, it was a nasty experience. I don't know from which local rugby club they'd employed the stewards that day, but they had, and they didn't take kindly to the pantomime cow coming on at the close of play. All legs and other bits of the cow went flying. Driven out through extra cover by Wells for a single. He moves up to 6 to end that over. 87 for 3. Doesn't know he's got one ball left. Forgive me. There was a wide, wasn't there? Butler's back on strike. He's on 27 not out. We've had a result in, and Danny Lamb has figured for Sussex Sharks this evening, and has helped them to victory off a last ball away to Gloucestershire. This is in the air. That's gone a long way up and over the fielder, has it? Yes, only just to save my blushes. I thought he cleared a lot easier than that fielder out there at wide long on, outstretched hand, tried to grab at it, but in the end, the score moves on to 93 for 3.
That
And
just
Bath
seemed
up to 33. Go on.
Just seemed to hang in the air for some time, did that ball. Joss Butler hit it up and over long on, and it felt like it was going to clear the ropes easily.
I'm glad you thought that, or you're just backing me up. I
Absolutely.
I thought he was flying that way.
And the ball just hung in the air, and there was a diving attempt, one-handed, which I don't think he'll have been far off.
Well, if it had been taken, it would have been another where you'd end up pondering and worrying yourself, where I would think, well, where does that come in the top 10? Because virtually every week there's another one. I think, well, I think that might be better than the last one I saw even, but that really would have been a stunner had that one been taken. Next delivery, in the air, on the offside. This could be a catching opportunity. Oh, gets to it, does really well to get to it. Misses it, it goes towards the boundary. It's not going to go that far, and they will run through 3. That's Jordan Thompson, I think, coming in. Well, he got to it. Whether any fingers actually got to it as well, I think maybe low, really low down. But this was a good effort, wasn't it?
Yeah,
good
it's
effort.
A very good effort. Luke Wells inside and out, gets a really thick outside edge on that, and Thompson running in, diving forward, but just manages to put it down. It'd have been a brilliant catch. He made about 30 yards there to get to the ball.
This is charm bowling. He goes the same here again, but this time there is no doubt about that one. Oh, that is definitive. That is a big 6 out there into the Western Terrace, out over your cow area again. But that's cleared, and oh, that was a big blow.
That was huge from Butler. Absolutely massive. And if you're gonna slog sweep, that's how you do it. With some venom. Might have even gone over the crowd,
just
out
lost
of the
it in
stadium.
That's just from our commentary position here. Couldn't quite see just how far it had gone, but it is a 6. It's on to 39. This time he's carved that one behind square on the offside. It's got a lot of pace to it. Will it beat the fielder? No. Good fielding. Real good sliding stop out there in the deep. Again, way to our left-hand side for me to be able to identify. That was Will Luxton, by the way, who put in such a really good effort a couple of balls ago down there on the boundary. But the score moves on to 41. Butler's got a couple there, so Lancashire 104 for 3 now, midway through the 11th over. Little push into the offside.
Well, just a beautiful front foot defensive that was from Joss Butler. You don't see him playing that shot.
But he's done
very
well
frequently.
This over. Bit of intelligence maybe. Well, I've done okay.
I'll respect that delivery.
Next one. He tries to get that one away, and again he can't. So fair play to the bowler here. He might be thinking to himself, this is Joss Butler who can't get away here. Defensive shot, and then tried to get it away on the offside, but couldn't do so. And next one is hit hard, firm and straight. That's what I was thought. Oh, that is a 6, flat 6. That's the sort of thing I was sort of looking for, and he has provided. He being Butler, he's moved to 47. Lightning 110 for 3. So a couple of quieter deliveries, and then snap, he's off again. 110 for 3 after 11 overs on both occasions, by the way, including that very fine stop out there on the boundary earlier. It's Will Luxton, who we saw take a really good catch last week, didn't we, in Manchester as well. So he's doing okay. Maybe some fumbles elsewhere in the field, but he's putting in a good shift tonight.
Yeah, it was a wonderful strike to finish the over from Joss Butler. Just batted that straight down the ground, straight over Chohan's head.
That one result I wanted to tell you about, it is in the South Group, but Sussex Sharks have beaten Gloucestershire by 4 wickets off the last ball, including some really impressive batting performances from Cole, 62, Alsop, 55. They needed, I've lost count of how many they needed in that final over. It was a lot. I thought they'd lost it basically. Then Danny Lamb, 16 not out off 5 balls. And got them over the line. So that's the holders Gloucestershire finally out of it. Mathematically it was always going to be a tight call, but start of this next over. This is Thompson who comes powering in, realizes I haven't finished the table. Thank you, Jordan. Just to say that so Gloucestershire now, I think, I'm certain, can't go through. Sussex Sharks, really important 4 points for them. They're in contention. We'll just as the night goes on obviously update the North Group as well. Very important match involving the Outlaws tonight as well in the Worcestershire Rapids. That one ongoing. Jordan Thompson in bowls, top edge, out there on the onside, comes in to take a catch, and is taken. And Jordan Thompson, the man who people say makes things happen, and he's taken a very important wicket there. It's the wicket of Wells. He's gone for 9, 110 for 4 in the 12th over. He was up there for a long time.
Absolutely, and he's lured Wells in. It's a shorter boundary to the western terrace, but he's hit a hard length and got the splice of Wells back there, and it's a simple catch out in the deep as it's hit out towards mid-wicket, running in.
Shafiq's taken the catch.
He's just hit the pitch hard as Thompson.
Sussex Sharks gone 4th, so in the final qualifying position in the South Group on 26 points. They've got obviously a game to go, final round of qualifying tomorrow. Hampshire Hawks in action against Essex. They at the moment on 30 points in 3rd. Kent Spitfires 4 points behind. It's tight in the north, it's tight in the south as well. We know that Surrey and Somerset have got themselves some home quarter-final ties, but a real battle still going on for those final 2 spots in the south. We'll update scores on the other matches going on this evening and their final table placings, particularly here in the north, of course. Matty Hurst is next in here for Lancashire. Outside edge, flies down towards the boundary. Is it going to get there? Yes, it is. It's 4 runs. Matty Hurst, who 12 months ago I was looking so much forward to seeing him this season, see him make big strides on. He's very young. He's got lots still of cricket ahead of him. Want to see him make these big steps of progress if we can. He's got a 4 there at the moment.
Absolutely.
114 for 4.
He'll be happy with that. Off the mark, 4 runs, thick outside edge down to 3rd. Thompson hitting his length lovely here, and it just seems to be spitting up off the pitch, causing the Lancashire batters problems.
Next ball, and angled down again to China, who's doing the fielding here at the 3rd area, just looking after that area on the shorter boundary. It seems quite a close corner there compared with the other one, which is, it looks, it probably is, but it looks almost twice the distance out there as we look from a high position here on the 5th floor. Every summer I come here and at least 5 new apartment blocks been built in the city centre there in the 12 months.
Those cranes seem to always be out there in the distance, don't they?
115 for 4 midway through the 12th over. Next ball. Oh, now they'll go through for 1. What did he get on that? Let's have a look from the umpire. Did he get bat on that and just keep it down? Yes. To Bairstow. How close did Bairstow get to that?
Felt like he got there, but just seemed to fumble it in his hands on his way down, diving to his right. The ball got big on Butler and he seemed to play at it, but didn't manage to get his full sort of guide down to 3rd and just got a little clip.
We've got a monitor, but it's a couple of balls behind. But at least we get to catch up eventually, just to see. You keep an eye on that one as well, because we forget the live action. So Butler's on to 48, 116 for 4, 2 balls left of this 12th over, pushed into the offside for no run from Hurst, who is on 5 here. Yeah, I would like to see that again. Bairstow with his back to us here. Just, is this the one where he sees it? Oh, it fell short. By a couple of yards.
Yeah, it did well in the end to actually get his body behind it, because it bounced just in front of him and seemed to hit him on the chest on his way down and through.
This is Thompson to Hurst. Hurst on 5. Roses clash here. Hurst of Lancashire will keep that one down nicely, just for a single. Behind square on the onside. He moves to 6. And Lancashire Lightning 117 for 4. 12 overs gone, and Thompson's taken a wicket in that over. 2 overs, no maidens. 1 for 14. So tonight, tomorrow night, it'll all be sorted out. It may well become actually quite clear by the end of tonight what's going on. We wait and see. But that Sussex Sharks result has certainly tightened things up there in the South Group. And we'll keep an eye on proceedings at New Road, where Worcestershire Rapids scored 206 for 7, and the Outlaws have not made a good start. They're 22 for 2 in the 4th over. McCann and Haynes are the batters who are out. 185 from 16.3 overs required there. We'll keep an eye on that one. That a North Group match, of course. So here we go again. Joan in bowls and pushed up here to the boundary to our left-hand side at long off for a single. You know, you come here to Leeds, and your first thought always is going to be, ooh, easily. 210, 220, 230s, because it tends to be a 200+ ground, doesn't it? Doesn't look that way here tonight at all, does it? Not to me.
No, it doesn't look like a traditional Headingley wicket. There seems to be a lot in it for the bowlers.
48 for Buttler, who again defends. I hope they're not watching this in the IPL. He won't be allowed back in. He won't be allowed back.
Second time we've seen that defensive shot from Josh Buttler. But yeah, it seemed to be tonight. If the bowlers find the length.
Chauhan in bowls. That one's driven with a bit more venom, but just for a single. Again down to our left at long off, where it's fielded by Will Sutherland. And Buttler to 49, Lancashire 119 for 4 in the 13th.
And just sticking to the best ball, it does a little bit. Where we've seen them be punished is over pitched or going slow into the pitch.
Chauhan to Hurst, no run behind square.
But when spinners have taken pace off, particularly when they're hitting into this big side in the eastern terrace, they've found a lot of success. And for bowlers cross seam hitting into the pitch, Jordan Thompson's last over so successful, and a couple of missed opportunities in the field as well.
So, bit of width for Hurst to work with. Behind square for a single, and there the applause for good fielding. And I'm going to say that's Will Luxton again, because every time I'm not too sure it's Will Luxton.
I think we can give Will Luxton the credit.
Yeah.
But it's almost a reverse of what you'd expect for a pitch at Emirates Old Trafford and a pitch at Headingley last week. High
Good
scoring.
Call. Spot on. 120 for 4. One ball left of this over. Worked away on the onside by Buttler. And that brings up a 50 for Josh Buttler. He will have scored quicker 50s, but just by, I mean, good bowling from Chauhan. That 50, 43 minutes, 26 balls, 5 fours, 3 sixes. 5 fours and 3 sixes in that, everybody. It's still very impressive. But just to see those defensive shots a little like that, there's part of me thinking that Buttler here is taking a look at this, getting a measure off it, and thinking this is not the end of the world if I do have to defend.
Absolutely. I mean, it feels like he's playing a very contained game, but like we saw there, off 26 balls, striking at 190, and he is being very specific on which balls he puts away. So if the bowler's over pitch, it goes into the crowds. But if they bowl a good length, he's happy to work that round. He's happy to absorb those dot balls. And I think that's with his precision and knowing how well he can execute those boundary balls, he's still managed to strike at 190 here, looking contained for Josh Buttler.
Moriarty back into the attack, comes round the wicket into Buttler, and Buttler will get a single into the offside. Thank you very much, Phoebe. Phoebe will be back. She's off to take a well-earned break. There'll be somebody with some spray mist at the back of the room just to get her ready for her next little stint. Scott's had that and looks much refreshed following his little break. He comes in to join us now. Hurst is on strike. He's on 8 and looks to ramp this one. Gets it down here towards the boundary. It's not going to get that far though. Almost just for a single. Good chasing. It's been a mixed bag, some of the fielding, but that's Matt Milnes chasing that down. Didn't get hold of it as he perhaps would have liked. Hurst is on 9. Buttler 51 not out. 123 for 4. 2 balls into this 14th over. Round the wicket. Oh, surely that's too wide. Umpire. Yes. I haven't got a direct communication to the umpire, but somehow I got the message out there. I think it's umpire O'Shaughnessy at that far end.
It is.
Umpire Middlebrook here at square leg. Round the wicket. Moriarty bowls and Buttler will drive along the ground for a single. Moves up to 52, so steady as he goes really here tonight in Leeds. So you've got a former Lancashire umpire, you've got a former Yorkshire umpire, although he went to various places, as indeed did umpire O'Shaughnessy, of course, Worcestershire as well as Lancashire. Middlebrook, Northants, bit of Essex as well. Round the wicket, Moriarty. Oh, leading edge. Oh, that was a little fortunate for Hurst in the offside. I wonder if Moriarty gives him a little look back there, maybe as a choice word of encouragement to Hurst, who's moved to 10, and the score 126 for 4. 2 balls into this 14th over. David Milnes is the third TV umpire. Buttler turned away onto the onside by Buttler. He will come back for 2 after run hard, makes his ground. Oh, he did have to put in a little extra effort to make his ground back for that second. He moves to 54. So 128 for 4. Butler on 54. Hurst on 10. On a steady enough night at the moment. It's not got too leery, not too loud. Scott's behaving himself.
Do my best.
Butler is on strike. And Moriarty bowls to him out through mid-wicket. Fielder set right in the deep there. They'll just get the single. Butler to 55, end of the over. Moriarty's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 28. 129 for 4 after 14 overs. Butler on 55. Hurst on 10. Chicken katsu for pre-match meal this evening with some nice, beautiful rice. What I'm a devil for is the old prawn crackers.
Yeah, are you really?
Very nice, but you chose not to? Or you
no, I didn't have. I had some chicken strips, which came with a separate sauce in a little jug.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was nice. I was the only one that had that, apparently.
Touch of class, touch of class. Yeah,
I thought so.
I feel much refreshed, ready for this evening. What about Danny Lamb? Good performance.
What happened? I didn't see this.
Oh, well, you're not listening.
No, I wasn't. No.
So the Sharks won on the last ball, a 4-wicket win.
Excellent.
Against the Gloucesters.
Oh, that's the
Cheltenham College.
Oh,
well, you're off
next week.
Yeah. Well, apparently you saw the talk of the town. And the fact that you're going to be there.
Jimmy's going to be there. That's probably more the talk of the town.
Danny Lamb, a 16 not out of 5 balls.
Well done, Danny.
I don't know, they needed a bag load of runs in the last couple of overs.
Right.
Simpson didn't. Allsop and Coles getting the runs there. Next ball. Oh, this is. I'm still talking here. Are you supposed to be commentating?
No, you crack on.
Into the offside. And moves up to 56, 129 for 4, 15th over. I do get a bit giddy on nights like today.
I can tell you're all of a dither.
Well, I'm a bit of a dither because it's the one thing for all the money, all the talk, all the advertising, which is in your face everywhere for the 100. Every bus I see has got the 100 on it. Every race station board's got the 100 on it. Next delivery, Yorker length, into the offside, and Butler will get a single. He'll move to 56. They don't have this sort of excitement as to who's going to qualify for the knockout stages or any knockout matches at all. They miss out on that fun. It should say that on those advertising boards.
Miss out on knockout action.
You get more fun in the blast. For the jeopardy. There's more jeopardy, isn't there?
You're very. I can tell the night's got away with you already. I can tell.
I love it.
I can tell.
130 for 4. We're in this 15th over. Hurst is facing. He's on 10. A slower ball, full and driven by Hurst. And that's well, the applause, I guess, for a good bit of feeling, but it did go straight to him. But it was fairly sharp. And they'll cheer anything here, the Yorkies. Do you know, they'll forgive failure to qualify if they can get a double in the Roses.
Lancashire twice.
Yeah. Who needs quarterfinals? Hurst on 10. And it's Milnes bowling here now. And this is in the air, but it's going to be safe out there. Will it be 4? No, it won't. One bounce into the hands of the fielders. We're seeing quite a lot of that, actually, finding the fielders out there.
Well, that's the shorter of the two boundaries by a distance, isn't it? Out towards the western terrace. The boundary away to our left-hand side out towards the eastern end is huge here. Some quite a couple of Lancashire players haul out looking for boundaries. Salt went going that way, Jennings going that way. It's a big hit.
131 for 4. 2 balls into this 15th over. That's around the off stump. Worked away to mid-wicket. Again, another. They're cheering every time a Yorkshire player picks up the ball. Well, I think that's quite good.
That's a good ball, isn't it? Because we mentioned that shorter boundary, so he's just pushing that full wide of off stump, and you ain't getting 4 through extra cover because it's too big a hit with the field that they're set. Yeah. So Butler having to work it out towards the shorter leg side boundary, but only for a single. It's good by Milnes.
And this is the final ball of this over. It's his 3rd over. He's gone for 16 runs so far. Oh, this is in the air again. This could be a catching opportunity. It is. And that is the end of Hurst. And Dom Bess has taken the catch, and Hurst has gone for 11. And it's 132 for 5 after 15 overs.
It's a build-up of pressure, isn't it, really? So kind of just slowing down the boundaries, Lancashire picking out fielders, trying to run 1s and 2s, a sense of maybe just trying to push on, try and just get the scoreboard ticking on a little bit quicker again. And that build-up of pressure, Yorkshire have bowled beautifully. And Milnes there with an excellent delivery. Pace off into the pitch. And Hurst tried to pull it, but didn't connect with it as anywhere near as he was liking or hoping for, and caught by Don Best. Goodbye Yorkshire, good little period this.
The bigger picture being Lancashire and their qualifying. They were looking obviously also to get a home tie if they can in the quarterfinals. If Worcestershire beat the Notts Outlaws, Worcestershire only end up on 28 points, which doesn't rule them out of qualification. But more importantly, the Outlaws, if they fail to win tonight, they could only end up on 28 points. Couldn't match Lancashire's 32 because two teams play each other tomorrow night at Trent Bridge. So with that in mind, let me tell you that the Outlaws are 3 down, 36 for 3 in the 6th over. Need 171 from 14.3 overs. This is Chowan for his final over, and beats the fielder on this occasion at short fine, and that is going to be 4 runs. And that is Butler, who's been joined by Green. One suspects this is an important partnership between these two, vastly experienced.
It is. Well, if Butler's seen through the final bulk of these 4 or 5 overs, then Lancashire have still got a target, a very good score in mind, haven't they?
They have. Butler's on 61. Again goes to leg side. There could be a run-out possibility here. Could be in trouble. A fumble from Chowan. The throw at the non-striker's end. Butler is okay. I think he's sort of crashed a bit into Chowan. So a mix-up between Butler and Green had Butler way out of his ground and way in trouble when that throw.
Well, he's gone, isn't he? If he's a better throw, he's a mile out. If he throws it towards the bowler who's stood by the stumps, then Butler's run out. But because the throw wasn't good enough, Chohan's had to come forward to get the ball, then go back to try and throw it onto the stumps, and Butler's managed to scramble home. But I think he's well gone with a better piece of fielder.
62 and Lightning 137 for 5, 2 balls into the 16th. And this is Chowan. Final over to say in bowls, worked by Green for no run into the offside.
It was a bit of an ungainly finish, wasn't it, for Jos Butler there? I mean, he's had to absolutely pelt it through to try and get home and put the dive in. It was all a bit frantic from Jos Butler into the dirt.
Green yet to get off the mark. He will do so here with a single to the long on boundary. 138 for 5, 16th over. Well, he went crashing to the ground. Everybody laughing at him.
Yeah,
which I thought was a bit harsh.
It's a bit, isn't it?
So Chowan, you say the throw wasn't great. Chowan wasn't able to pick it up cleanly. If he had picked it up cleanly, he still would have been in some trouble. But it was difficult bounce for him to get to, and there he ends up sprawled out. Jos Butler.
What? On his belly.
Yeah.
Belly flop.
And worked away by Butler to the mid-wicket boundary, and he moves to 63, 139 for 5, 1 ball left of this over. Do I make way again at this over, at this juncture, or what do you think?
Oh, you could do another one if you want.
Do one more.
Yeah.
It's working me hard tonight, isn't it? Eh? Dear, oh dear. Green will find a bit of space there on the onside, and he will get a single. He moves to 2. 140 for 5, 16 overs bowled. Butler on 63, Green on 2.
That not score, obviously.
Yes.
If they don't win, Lancashire do get their qualification confirmed tonight, even if they lose this game here this evening. So Notts have to win to deny Lancs. I mean, Lancs are probably going to qualify, but mathematically not sorted.
Do you want to get ahead of ourselves, Scott?
Absolutely not. Quite right, Kevin. But if Notts don't get to 207 and win the game, then Lancs will qualify.
Phoebes, you're the only brains in this room. You're the adjudicator. If we say anything you think might mathematically not be correct, you just pipe up there, okay? You just make the point that, lads, show your workings.
Show your workings out. Yeah. Normally I just ask Ken Grime downstairs.
Well, you do actually.
Yeah, he works it all out for me.
Well, he's good, isn't he?
Oh, he's.
It's only because the great workings of Ken was I, with some confidence, the other day able to say that the Blazers got a full bonus point win.
Excellent.
I was the only one in the building who knew.
Because you had Ken's number.
No, I worked out myself. Green on 2, and it's driven by Green. How dare you? To the long on boundary, and he moves up to 3. No, because of the great tutelage.
Oh, he took you well.
Yeah.
Good
calculator there and everything, and with the times by 4, divide by 5. And
why is there a bonus point still in women's T20 cricket?
Oh, why shouldn't there be?
Well, why is there not in the men's then? If they're supposed to be both the same, aligned.
Well, maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
No.
Butler on 60, 341 for 5, and that is played square by Butler for a single, moves up to 64. I'm not a massive fan, really. 142 for 5, 2 balls into the 17th, but that's only because I'm not the smartest cookie in the jar, and it just adds a little added layer of complication to it all, you see. As indeed have I found 4 points instead of 2. I don't know why I find that really difficult on a table to look at, and it shouldn't do, should it? But it does. Green on 3, and he's hit that really well. Has it been Sutherland?
Good
no, it hasn't. Good fielding here. As I say, it's been a bit mixed early on, but they are putting in the effort. And that's Sutherland with a great dive, which has prevented a boundary being scored. Green on to 5, and Lightning 144 for 5 in the 17th over.
Good effort. Really good diving stop, that, wasn't it? He had a yard or 2 to work with right by the boundary sponge, put the dive in.
So Jordan Thompson winning his 3rd over, 1 for 18, midway through his 3rd. And he's off and running away from us here. The Kirk's still laying end. And in and bowls in the air. How far has that gone? It's cleared the boundary rope, and it's about 10 rows back into the crowd to our right. A 6. We're not seeing too many of those tonight, or we haven't done to date anyway. It brings up the Lightning 150, 150 for 5.
Interesting hearing what you and Phoebe were saying about the pitch here, because you come to these games, these Roses fixtures, especially games here, and you're looking at kind of 180, maybe 200 as being good T20 scores, but doesn't necessarily feel that way at the minute.
Well, I'm looking at 200, to be honest. When from the start, it's what you often see here. Green on 11, plays and misses that one. This is good bowling from Thompson, and the crowd appreciate it as well.
He's a good cricketer, isn't he? He's leaving.
He's leaving, I know.
What are Yorkshire doing? Letting a cricketer of this calibre leave.
Can I just remind you, are in Yorkshire at the moment when you're saying this sort of thing. It's fine when you're the other side of the Pennines. But you're
Come on,
Headingley
Yorkshire,
now.
what are you doing?
Well,
he's one of your own.
It was. What's got with you tonight?
I think it's that chicken. It was a bit spicy.
Well, it was all to do with the deal, you see.
The deal.
Either they couldn't match it, or they felt it wasn't right to match it.
Indeed.
So it must be a pretty special one.
Right, yes.
And they're in Birmingham. And don't you start saying things like that. Very careful with their money over there. Do not start saying things like that, otherwise you definitely won't get out of the ground. This is in the air. Oh, this is going to be 4 off the outside edge of the bat of Green, and he moves to 15. 17 overs gone. 154 for 5. Butler on 64, Green 15. A partnership of 22. It has been a bit of a struggle, seemingly, for Lancashire to this point, but when you've got Butler and Green out there, I just wonder how different that might well look. Yeah. In 2 or 3 overs time. Now I'm going to move out.
Okay, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, it could look a lot different, couldn't it, in 3 overs time? Butler 64, Green on 15. What Phoebe reckon is a decent defendable score here. We mentioned earlier about 2 teams have perhaps just read the pitch a little bit differently. 3 frontline spinners in this Yorkshire side: Moriarty, Chauhan and Bess. Only effectively 1 frontline spinner in Lancashire's team, which is Chris Green, albeit Luke Wells can bowl some leg spinner, might even bowl 2, 3 or 4 even overs potentially. But they've gone with the extra seamer of Lancashire rather than the extra spinner. Here's Sutherland in and bowling to Butler. It's off his hip down towards the fine leg. Boundary, it's gone for 4 runs. A dive coming in just down below us here, but flicked away off Butler's hip for 4 to start the 18th over. He moves to 68, and it's 158 for 5. Phoebe Graham's back alongside him.
Yeah, it hasn't seemed a straightforward wicket here at Headingley, and I think bowlers hitting their lengths, it's been really, really challenging to score. And Butler 68 off 38 deliveries.
Sutherland bowls to Butler, fires one in full and straight, and he's flashed it off his pads out towards the leg side for 159 for 5.
it's felt like a really contained innings by Buttler, and a lot of those runs scored have come through boundaries and come through him being so precise on when he's going to clear the ropes, and it's been a really calculated knock from Buttler, and I think that's where the batters in support have really struggled, like Luke Wells, Matty Hurst, because they haven't had that precision on when they're going to go for the boundary option. It's gone in the air, it's gone aerial, and there's been catches.
Sutherland to Green, short and wide, and gets a thick bottom edge on that green, and it bounces back down the pitch to the bowler, and there's no run.
But the fact that we've had so many catches throughout this innings shows that it is a little bit too paced, the wicket, and there's also this big boundary out here in the eastern terrace which is difficult to clear, so you've got to be really, really clear which balls you're going to target if you want to clear those ropes.
Sutherland for Yorkshire in and bowls to Green. That's swatted out towards the long on boundary for a single. Green moves on to 16, 160 for 5. Yeah, I mean, that is just a monster hit, isn't it? Out towards, we saw Phil Salt, didn't we? Get a slog sweep 1 for 6. But it's a big hit to get it clear of that rope to the leg side with Buttler on strike as Sutherland comes in and bowls to Buttler. He's pushed it full and wide of off stump, and Buttler drives it out towards mid-off, and it's stopped inside the fielding circle at mid-off. Butler does scamper through for 1. Matt Milnes with the fielding for Yorkshire. Butler to 70 not out. Lancashire Lightning, 1 ball left of the 18th over, a 161 for 5. Brings Green back on strike. Long off, long on, deep mid-wicket, deep square leg, and fielder in front of the cover boundary. Short, wide, carved away, in the air, caught. Green's gone for 16, Sutherland strikes, and he's sent it out towards that fielder, sweeping on the cover boundary in front of the western terrace. Jordan Thompson with the catch, and Lancashire lose their 6th wicket, 161 for 6.
Well, it's a good delivery by Sutherland. It's slow into the pitch, and it's a big strike to get that up and over cover, and it's flat, it's hard, it's straight into Jordan Thompson's hands at deep cover. Another wicket departs. Chris Green gone for 16, caught Thompson, bowled Sutherland. Lancashire 161 for 6. It will be Jack Blatherwick who joins Jos Buttler at the crease.
Well, he gave it a wallop, didn't he, on Friday evening at the back end of that Roses game?
He did. The game wasn't really up for grabs at that stage,
no.
But he still managed to strike, I think, 30 off the last over, did Jack Blatherwick. So we know he can hit the ball. But I think this over's key. 2 overs left. The western terrace is the close boundary.
Can Buttler find it? Here's Matt Milnes in and bowls to Buttler. Oh no, he's got on the reverse. The scoop down towards the boundary. It's gone for 4 runs. And Buttler moves to 74, 165 for 6.
That's a wonderful classic Jos Buttler shot. Sets up early, reverse scoop, and gets it on the full in the end as Jos Buttler finds his boundary. And I think they'll be looking to take down this over to try and get that total north of 190 if they can.
Milnes sets off again. Right on over the wicket, balls to Buttler, full and wide of off stump, and Buttler drives the ball away firmly along the ground through extra cover for a single. Buttler moves to 75, and the score moves on to 166 for 6. That knock by Blatherwick that Phoebe mentioned, 34 not out on Friday. It was always in a losing cause. Lancashire were well beaten by the time that Blatherwick came out. However, it did narrow the margin of defeat, and it's kept Lancashire's net run rate in a very healthy position. It means that it's effectively worth another point for them.
Well, it's what's keeping them at the top of the table at the moment, and it's knocks like that that actually show the game's never dead and buried, and actually it keeps them top of the table. A win tonight gets them a home quarter final.
Here's Milnes for Yorkshire in and bowls full and wide and driven by Blatherwick. He picks out Milan. He's the only fielder in front of square inside the fielding circle, and there's no run. There's a deep backward point, deep extra cover. There's a long off, long on, and deep square leg. So Milnes probably going to try and do what he's done there, full and straight and in and around off stump. In and bowls again to Blatherwick, hits it down the ground. Oh, he's cleared the man over the Lancashire dugout, and it's gone for 6. That was properly clubbed by Blatherwick down the ground. 172 for 6.
That's a great strike by Blatherwick. Milnes misses his Yorker. It's a low full toss, but Blatherwick stays nice and stable in his base and just swings his arms through that wonderfully over long off and nearly into the Sky Sports cricket pod.
He was heading in that direction. Milnes in, bowls to Blatherwick. It's wide. He goes again. It's in the air. He might be struggling this time. Caught. Blatherwick hits a 6, and then very next delivery, he's caught at the wide long off boundary and has to depart. And Lancashire lose their 7th wicket. 172 for 7 at the kind of one ball left of the 19th over, and Blatherwick out in the end. Quick fire 6 off 3 deliveries.
Well, it's the big boundary again that gets Lancashire in a little bit of trouble. Slow and into the pitch, wide. They're really hiding this short boundary. The Western Terrace is Matt Milnes in the field that he's got. He's got third, he's got extra, he's got long off, long on, mid-wicket, out in the deep. So he's looking to bowl wide. He took pace off, and Blatherwick went to go for the maximum again, but is caught on the ropes by Sutherland. It's smart bowling.
I say, Phoebe, he's bowled beautifully to the way he set the field, or the way Yorkshire set the field here. They've protected that leg side, shorter leg side boundary.
Yeah, there's definitely lots Lancashire can learn from this and take into their innings.
Luke Wood's the new batter. Milnes right arm round the wicket to Wood. That's shuffled away in towards the leg side. It'll bounce maybe 10 yards or so in from the square leg boundary. And actually they turned down the single, haven't they, because that's the final ball of the 19th over. So instead of going through for 1, they've turned the single down. So Butler is on strike for the final over of the innings. 172 for 7.
Yeah, I think there was a little roar of boos from the crowd as well for that, for turning down the single. But they want Butler on strike for these last 6 balls. He's seeing the ball well now. But it'll be Thompson, the big show, to come in and bowl the final over, his final Roses match.
Oh yes, yeah. He's bowled nicely tonight. 3 overs, 1 for 28. Butler's on strike. Final 6 deliveries for Lancashire Lightning. They're 172 for 7. But they have got the key man, Joss Butler, on strike. What can he do from 6 deliveries? Here's Thompson for Yorkshire. In and bowls to Butler. Butler hits it down the ground, bouncing in front of long on. They turn the single down again. 172 for 7.
Well, it's interesting. I've not seen this often at all in T20, particularly at 7 down. So that's 2 runs that they've turned down.
Well,
and that's well executed from Jordan Thompson. With the field that he's got set, he's got men all in front of the bat, so it'll be slow and into the pitch.
Here he is to Butler. Butler hits it down the ground, out towards long off, and they will take a single this time. Butler wants to come back for 2. Yeah, they've sacrificed Luke Wood. So they've got a single off the over, but Butler always coming back for 2, knowing that the throw was coming into Wood's end. So Wood has to depart. He's been run out. They've managed to get a run there, Lancashire Lightning. 173 for 8.
Well, that feels more of a sensible approach than turning down singles in the last over. So both deliveries, first delivery, slow into the pitch, down to long on, no run taken. Second delivery, slow into the pitch, straight to long off, but they come back for the 2, and it's a simple run out, but they just want Joss Butler on strike. 8 down, he's got 2 partners left now. They can't do this tactic for the next 4 balls.
Thompson in the sunshine for Yorkshire. Back in, bowls to Butler. Butler swats it out towards the leg side. They turn the single down again. So that's 3 runs that they've turned down. We'll see if there is a winner. It could, of course, be a tie, but if there is a winner, what's going to be the margin of victory? Lancashire have turned 3 runs down so far at the back end of their innings here. 173 for 8. He's desperately trying to find a boundary, but at the minute, Thompson's has not done a single thing wrong with the ball here. 173 for 8. Butler waits, Thompson's back in, balls again, full, and this time it's hit down the ground by Joss Butler. He'll want to come back for 2. The throw comes towards the keeper's end, he's been run out. Well, I just think they've potentially made a real mess of this, Lancashire Lightning. Just trying to get Butler on strike and hit boundaries he's struggling to hit. Bairstow said, send it to my end. The throw came in from long on. Bairstow was screaming for it, not the bowler's end. Bring it to my end. That's exactly what happened. And Butler was short of his ground. Run out for 76 by Will Sutherland.
Well, it's a wonderful piece of bowling from Jordan Thompson again. You can't take that away from him. He's gone slow into the pitch. Butler expected it again, but he yorked him. Came back for the 2, wanted to sacrifice Aspinwall, but in the end, Butler's run out. Great piece of fielding out in the deep, but it's Thompson that's created it. Now Lancashire 9 down, and James Anderson out to face the last 2 deliveries. What an unusual moment of play.
And you know what? He just gets the most magnificent reception. This is a standing ovation inside the ground from Yorkshire supporters in this T20 Roses fixture for James Anderson. The Western Terrace on their feet, the rugby stand on their feet to applaud James Anderson out to the middle, wearing his Lancashire red in a Roses fixture. But the Yorkshire supporters said, Jimmy, we've got to say a big hello and a warm welcome back. 174 for 9. Anderson's on strike. It's Thompson in, and Anderson's ball, first delivery. It's a fantastic final over by Jordan Thompson. He has bowled superbly. I think Lancashire may have just got themselves a bit muddled up with what they're trying to do there. It's 2 wickets in 2 balls for Yorkshire to end the innings. Lancashire 174 all out. Jimmy, standing ovation, bowled first delivery.
Well, the stumps cartwheeled. It was a wonderful Yorker from Jordan Thompson, executed fantastically, but what a moment. James Anderson walking out to the crease, standing ovation from the fans here at Headingley. It was a brilliant moment of respect for the England all-time great James Anderson, but it didn't last long because Jordan Thompson cleaned him up within a delivery. Well, they certainly messed up there, did Lancashire. They'll look back on that with some regret. 2 from the final over, 1 ball left unused, all because they wanted Butler on strike, who was struggling to find boundaries anyway. It was a difficult wicket to bat on. He played a superb knock in the end to bring Lancashire up to 174, but it should have been 180.
Well, it should, and that could look, Lancashire could still win the game, and in the end it might not mean much, and you can certainly appreciate the theory behind it, because you want Butler on strike for as much of that final innings as possible, don't you? You want him facing deliveries, but he's hitting to the bigger boundary, I mean, and of which no one's really managed to successfully do it consistently so far in the innings. But maybe they were just sacrificing in the end a couple of batters. In the end they've sacrificed 1 delivery, and they've turned down 4 runs, all to try and see if Butler can, I guess, get a 6 or a 4 at the back end of the innings.
Absolutely. I guess in that circumstance, when it does pull off, and he's batted majority of the innings tonight, so he should be seeing the ball well. If he'd have gone dot 6-6, 4-6, yeah, we wouldn't have had anything to say about it other than, do you remember that moment? Whereas now it feels like they've left potentially 5-10 runs short of a total. 174 all out. It looks a difficult pitch to bowl on, but Lancashire, they're going to have to bowl well, because Yorkshire certainly did.
They did, and a brilliant end to the innings with the way that Anderson was greeted like a return, almost like a returning Yorkshireman. It was a standing ovation, wasn't it? It was the whole ground stood up to applaud. Jimmy's back at Headingley for the first time, and he then has the task of just trying to see if he can swing and make contact.
Yeah, I've seen that once before at Headingley when Tim Bresnham came back to play against Yorkshire for Warwickshire, and the crowd stood up, round of standing ovation, just like that moment there. But I think that just shows the respect that he has in every county, and it doesn't matter how big this rivalry is. There's some unbelievable players on show, and the respect given there to James Anderson, the respect to Johnny Bairstow 6 days ago when he scored that 115 at Emirates Old Trafford. The whole stadium, Lancashire fans everywhere, stood up on their feet clapping him, and that is what sport is all about, and it's moments like that that make you proud that you're in this game.
It does indeed. We'll see whether or not that approach in the end will backfire, or whether they've got enough runs. I'm not sure, but it was a highly entertaining end to the innings for different reasons. In terms of Lancashire's scorecard, Phoebe, well, it's made up of one player. I mean, Salt's 42, let's absolutely acknowledge that at the top, but without Butler, Turner 2, Wells 9, Hurst 11, Green 16, Blatherwick 6, Wood 0, Aspinwall 0, and Anderson 0. Now I know Wood and was sacrificed, wasn't it, to get Butler back on strike, but goodness me, without Butler, wow, they're in all sorts of bother.
Absolutely, and we felt really that Butler played quite a contained knock. He wasn't finding boundaries effortlessly like he usually does, but he was playing quite a reserved innings where if the ball was in a good area, he'd rotate, he'd absorb the dot ball, and if bowlers overpitched or gave a short delivery, he absolutely punished them. Now, saying that, 77 off 46 deliveries, so he still struck at 170, so it was still a superb knock, but he had to play in that way because no one was supporting him. So he knew the importance of his role with the bat in hand, and actually played a superb hand for Lancashire there, bringing them up to 174 because no one really supported him throughout.
Well, in their last 31 balls, they lost 6 for 42 from the final 31 balls. That's not how you want to finish your innings, is it? That's a bit of a brutal stat for Lancashire Lightning. We'll see. It might be enough. They're going to have to bowl well. Milnes 2 for 27, Moriarty 1 for 28, Sutherland 1 for 35, Thompson 2 for 30, and Chauhan 2 for 33. Live from Headingley on BBC Radio Lancashire, on the BBC Sport website and app, on Sports Extra 3. It's the Roses fixture, Yorkshire against Lancashire Lightning, and Yorkshire chasing 175 to win.
Graham Liver at breakfast.
The little rucksack that your nanas.
1864. We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. Because it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the red rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the red rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the red rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues, internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the red rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the red rolls together.
Welcome to the opening day. Oh, that is a wonderful shot.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary.
When I was a kid, there was no professional women's cricket. I didn't even think that women could be professional sports people.
Especially early on, it just didn't really seem like there was a career in it.
To support myself around cricket, I had to work at the petrol garage.
I was the only girl, so I stood out.
I'd love for young girls to be able to dream about being an athlete and it to be achievable.
Thanks to the Hilton funding my contract, it's allowed me to play the game that I love all day, every day.
We're like an engine and we need to be fueled with the right gas.
Without funding, we can't be visible. You can't be what you can't see.
As a team, it feels like we're breaking boundaries.
Thunder and Lancashire always want to put women's cricket at the forefront, and now I think that's really shining through.
It's mad to think that without the Hilton funding, like we wouldn't be playing cricket every day, training.
Well, we could be, but we wouldn't have any money.
We wouldn't, yeah, true.
This is a call for hungry dreamers and hard-working self-believers. Success is down to more than just luck and talent. It's striving to be the best, breaking the boundaries and never giving up. Are you ready to become your best self? Are you ready to unlock your greatness? So what are you waiting for? This is Education Evolved. This is UA 92.
Away to our left-hand side. Let's see if Lancashire can defend this and book their place in the quarterfinals and get a home quarterfinal too. Anderson bowling to Bairstow, and Bairstow off the front foot pushes defensively back to Jimmy Anderson, and there is no run. Scott Reed, Kevin Howes and Phoebe Graham to take you through this run chase, where Lancashire know a home T20 quarterfinal is theirs if they can defend. 174 all out. They were Johnny Bairstowed on Friday evening and then some. It was the Bairstow show with that magnificent century. Can they get him early? Slip in place. Anderson over the wicket. Bowls to Bairstow. That run away through the offside. That'll be 4 for Bairstow. Out towards the point boundary. Yorkshire's reply up and running. Bairstow's up and running. He moves to 4, as indeed the Yorkshire.
Well, it's a good start from Johnny Bairstow. Just gets a little bit of width there from James Anderson, is able to put his hands through that. It's a slow pitch. He's got a deep backward point. No cover. It just works that through cover.
4 without loss. Slip still in place. Anderson in and bowls to Bairstow. That's pushed into the offside. They want a quick single. It could be tight. And in the end, Salt declines. That's the word I'm looking for. The chance to try and run Bairstow out, and he knew that it was probably going to be safe. It wasn't worth the overthrow either. So a single for Bairstow. He moves on to 5. In the other game in the North Group, the Worcestershire Rapids 206 for 7 from 20 overs. The Notts Outlaws 130 for 7 after 14. So it looks like Worcestershire Rapids are heading for victory there. So even if Lancashire don't win tonight, they will still be guaranteed a quarter-final spot. But they would still have a little bit of work to do to try and secure a home quarter-final. They travel to Trent Bridge tomorrow evening for the final round of group fixtures to take on the Outlaws. There is a couple of games in the South Group, which we'll take a look at in a second. Here is Anderson in and bowls to Milan off the back foot. That's pushed defensively towards mid-off, and there's no run. Earlier at Cheltenham College, as part of the cricketing festival, where Gloucestershire were playing host to Sussex. Sussex beating Gloucestershire by 4 wickets. Target of 186 to win. Got there with 4 wickets in hand. And Hampshire are playing Essex in the South Group tonight. Hampshire 163 for 3, halfway through the 17th over. 5 without loss, Yorkshire. Here's James Anderson over the wicket and bowls full hit up and over extra cover and into the western terrace. It's spilt by a bloke on the front row in his white Yorkshire top, but it's gone for 6 nonetheless for David Milan, and Yorkshire move on to 11 without loss.
Well, it's a lovely shot by David Milan. Just opens up the face of his bat, goes up and over cover, goes all the way to the boundary for 6. It's not a huge hit, but it's not a big boundary out to this western terrace.
11 for no wicket, final ball of the over. Anderson in, bowls, it swings back in towards Milan. And he takes a single off, maybe an inside edge back onto his pad perhaps, but it's pushed in the end out towards the offside, just drop out towards the offside for 1. Moves to 12, Yorkshire. Milan to 7, Bairstow to 5. The ball swung for Jimmy Anderson in that over, Phoebe Graham, didn't it? But it's still gone for 12.
It did, yeah, and I think both these batters, Bairstow, Milan, they like to take advantage of the power play. Yorkshire tend to have a much higher strike rate in this power play than out the power play. So it's really key that they take advantage, even though the ball's swinging and shaping, and they've got Luke Wood taking the new ball from the rugby stand end. So they'll still want to take advantage of these first 6 overs, 12 from the first. And the names on show tonight, we haven't really spoken about that yet, but Luke Wood to David Milan, Johnny Bairstow the other side, James Anderson with the new ball. It's filled with stars tonight.
It's an all-star cast. Here's Luke Wood in and bowls to Milan, just drops it off his hip out towards the square leg boundary. They want 2. Well, Bairstow fancied 2, but he's right not to commit to it. Throw coming in pretty sharply out from that boundary. Just a single for Milan. He moves to 8, 13 without loss.
I don't think Johnny Bairstow liked how slowly David Milan took that first run. Actually, it could have been 2. It would have been a push for it, but he just wanted to show him how eager he is for 2, because how big the boundaries are, how big the pockets are, running between wickets is massive here tonight. Hitting the ball square, particularly on the leg side at the moment, is important.
Wood to Bairstow, he's got him! Oh, and Wood gives him a send-off too. Bairstow thick inside edge, back onto his stumps. And Luke Wood enjoyed that, as indeed did Lancashire Lightning. Bairstow, the hero of Friday evening for Yorkshire. He's gone for 5, thick inside edge, rattles onto his stumps, and a great start for Lancashire. Yorkshire 13 for 1.
Well, he's gone full and it's swung, and Bairstow inside edge into his stumps. And Wood is chuffed with that after being pumped around the park 6 days ago by Johnny Bairstow. He has the final word and he makes sure of it as well.
Didn't he just? Yeah.
5 off 4 balls for Johnny Bairstow, a huge wicket for Lancashire. And the swing of Luke Wood creates the wicket early doors once again.
"13 without loss." Well, Lancashire didn't enjoy watching them being subjected to Bairstow's knock on Friday evening. Phil Salt said to me yesterday it was a very flat pitch. I must have put that into the equation. But they'll be delighted to see the back of him early on. Wood tearing away in celebration. And Yorkshire 13 for 1. Here comes Wood, bowls to Luxon. Oh, he's almost inside edge that back onto his stumps himself. Ricochets back off his pad and comes back down the pitch to Wood, and there's no run. And Wood, like he tends to do, Phoebe, gets this ball to move early on.
Absolutely, and the floodlights are on as well. Gets the ball swinging, shaping into the right-hander of Will Luxon. And he looks threatening this evening, does Luke Wood. He's on the money, he's full, he's shaping the ball.
And he's in again to Luxton. Again, that comes back in towards him. Defender back down the pitch, and there's no run. The movement that Wood can get to bring the ball back in as he is doing now, at pace as well, Phoebe. I mean, what a skill to have in the power play. Well, at any point, but in the power play early on with this new ball while it's doing a bit.
Absolutely, and I think it's the pace that makes him so effective. That ball to Bairstow was full, but it moved and moved late. So that was where the inside edge came on from Johnny Bairstow onto the stumps.
Wood left arm over balls to Luxon, finds a gap through the offside. That'll be 4. Not much room to work it through, Will Luxon, but he gets his night up and running. 4 crunching away through cover. Yorkshire move on to 17 for 1 with 1 ball left for the second over.
Well, Luxton off the mark. Lovely shot through the offside, through the covers. He also had a fabulous night out the last Roses match. 90 he scored off 46 deliveries, so he's faced this attack before, but as we said earlier, it is different conditions tonight.
Final ball of the over, Wood into Luxon. He lifts that up and over mid-wicket, bouncing out towards that bigger boundary. Blatherwick is out there for Lancashire behind square and can't get round to cut it off. Nice way to end the over for Will Luxon. Back-to-back boundaries. Yorkshire 21 for 1. We've had 2 overs of this Yorkshire reply, chasing 175 to win.
Well, he plays this really nicely, does Luxon. Slightly fuller delivery on the leg stump, so he's able to work that through the leg side. Flick of the wrist, head over the ball, still head. He has such a still head when he hits and strikes the ball, does Luxton. And it looks like they're going to stay with James Anderson with the ball swinging. I think they're going to try and maximise Anderson and Wood here, because this is when they're the most effective.
Milan on 8, 21 for 2. Over number 3, Anderson in. Balls that just sneaks away past the edge of Milan's bat and into the gloves of Joss Butler. And there's no run. Anderson with red sweatbands on each wrist. He's all in red, in Lancashire red tonight. Yorkshire in their blue, light blue tops and darker blue trousers and pads. 21 for 1, third over. Anderson from the top of his mark, sets off and he's in once more. Short third man, short fine leg, in and balls, and Milan up with an inside edge. Gets a single, the ball crashing past the stumps. And he does get 1, Milan. Streaky, but they'll count. He moves to 9. Yorkshire 22 for 1.
Absolutely. Previous delivery to Milan, the left-hander, shapes away from him. That one jags back in and he gets a thick inside edge. 1 bounce to short fine. So you can see the ball's moving a lot at the moment, and it'll be about... It's that balance of capitalising off the power play with the bat in your hand, but also how can you make the most of this swinging ball with Anderson and Wood in your attack.
Here's Anderson into Luxton. Luxton will tuck it into the onside and jogs through for a single. The ball just bouncing out towards the edge of the circle at mid-wicket. Luxton had an outstanding evening on Friday. I mean, in any other game, 90 not out, especially in a Roses match, is your kind of headlines kind of take from the game, especially when that team goes on to win. But unfortunately for Will Luxon, he had Bairstow at the other end making 116, but he did bat so well. Anderson to Milan, that swiped away out towards deep backward square leg. Not a particularly graceful looking shot, but he'll get a single. Milan moves to 10, 24 for 1. It was a brilliant knock by Luxton on Friday.
Barely got a line in the BBC Sport article because of Johnny Bairstow, but what a supporting act Will Luxton was, and a young talent for Yorkshire, 22 years of age, come through the ranks here, and it's amazing to see him on show tonight again.
I thought he might have been picked up maybe rather in the 100. As Anderson's in too. Luxton, that's lifted out towards the leg side. He might be going. Here he is. He's gone. Anderson gets his wicket, the first of the evening, and Chris Green out on the deep mid-wicket boundary in position to take the catch. And Will Luxon, how things can change so quickly. Magnificent on Friday in the first game. In the reverse fixture, he's out for 9 and a victim to Jimmy Anderson. And Yorkshire are 24 for 2.
Yeah, soft dismissal in the end for Luxon. He creates room for himself, moving towards the leg side, but Anderson follows him, sort of flicks the wrist, but doesn't get hold of the ball at all. It's not a big boundary towards the western terrace, and it's a simple catch for Chris Green on the ropes at deep mid-wicket. Luxon departs. Yorkshire 24 for 2.
Yeah, good power play early on this for Lancashire Lightning with the ball. They had a very good power play with the bat, and then Yorkshire wrestled back control with wickets falling. I feel as though Lancashire Lightning are light at the halfway point with runs on the board that they've got. They might see it differently, of course. We're not out there, and those Lancashire players having batted on this pitch might think that 175 is a decent score to try and defend. We shall see. Abdullah Shafriq is the new batter, joining Milan. 24 for 2, 1 ball left of the third over. Lancashire just tweaking their field a little bit here. Looks like Anderson wants a slip in place, so Jennings nestles in at slip. There's a short third man, wide third. There's a deep backward square leg, so the 2 boundary riders are at wide third man, deep backward square leg. There's also a short, fine third man, 1 slip, and 3 on the offside in the circle and 2 on the leg side. Anderson in and bowls. That's run away down towards that fielder at short third man. And it's Matthew Hurst there for Lancashire Lightning. Single for Shafriq. Anderson collects his glasses and his cap from the umpire. It's the end of his second over of the evening. 3 gone. We're halfway through the power play. Yorkshire are 25 for 2, chasing 175 to win.
Well, there's no surprise they're going to stick with Wood from the rugby stand end, from the Howard stand. The ball is still swinging. And how long will it keep swinging for Luke Wood? If they can get 1 more in the power play, then it will make it a tough challenge, the 175 for Yorkshire to chase down. They don't have the same strength in their batting lineup as Lancashire.
So here's Wood in for his second over, tearing his way in, left arm over, balls fallen, swinging in towards Shafriq, who tucks it out towards the leg side, straight to Green, who's at mid-on, and there's no run. The Notts Outlaws are on the brink of defeat in their match at New Road. They're playing Worcestershire Rapids. Lancashire Lightning on the cusp of qualifying, certainly for the quarter-finals. That will happen if Notts fail to win. 25 for 2. Wood in and balls once more, and just jabbed away into the offside by Shafriq, and there is no run. Would that put to an end Notts Outlaws' hopes of qualifying? I'm not so sure it would mathematically, and we do like to be mathematically correct, Phoebe Gray. I'm not so sure it would. I think they probably could still. They could still get to 28. Yeah, so they could. I think it basically rules them out because the Bears have got a much better net run rate. So I think it probably does. Here's Wood in and balls, driven firmly away for 4 by Shafriq. Out through point towards the western stand. He moves to 5. Yorkshire 29 for 2 halfway through the 4th over.
Well weighted there by Shafriq. Slightly overpitched by Wood, but that's what he likes to do at this stage of the game, is to go full, let the ball swing. But Shafriq counters that by putting his hands through the ball, piercing point. The ball runs away for 4. So they pack that offside now.
As Wood sets off, balls again. Shafriq off the front foot, pushing away, a little officially, bouncing in front of cover point where Salt fields, and there is no run. 29 for 2 in the 4th over. Yeah, the win for the Rapids would put them level on points with 4th place Bears. So the Bears and Worcestershire Rapids and Leicestershire Foxes still having a chance, all 3 of those sides, to finish in the top 4 going into tomorrow's final round of fixtures. Durham are not yet certain of a place in the quarterfinals. They're 3rd. Top 2 sitting nice and pretty. Lancashire Lightning and the Northants Steelbacks. Wood in, balls again, short and pulled in the air. Blatherwick trying to get round to cut it off. One hand stop and then lays it off to Green, who then sends it in. That was all very stylish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a nice bit of almost rugby play in the end. Blatherwick running round. It was set up for the shorter ball with a deep square leg and a deep mid-wicket. Blatherwick running round, picks it up, one hand on the bounce, lay off to Chris Green. Chris Green fires it into the keeper. And it was a lovely piece of set play.
It was. Very nicely done by Jack Blatherwick and then by Chris Green. 30 for 2. Milan's on 10. Final ball of the 4th over. Luke Wood starting his run up from about Bradford. Absolutely miles away. And then comes hurtling in from the rugby end. Left arm over, balls to Milan. It comes back in towards him. And he'll just nudge it away off his hip out towards the leg side for a single. And he keeps the strike as well. So that's 2 overs in the power play sent down by Luke Wood. He's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 15. Jimmy Anderson's bowled 2 overs in the power play, 2 overs, 1 for 16. So perfect work by the 2 Lancashire opening bowlers in the first 4 overs here.
Yeah, and we'll have a change of bowling here again, and Tom Aspinwall will come into the attack, who we haven't seen for a number of weeks for Lancashire. I think he's had a little bit of a niggle that he's been recouping from. But he's come in for Tom Hartley tonight. They've gone with the extra seamer. He's almost like a Darren Gough, isn't he? He's a smaller build, probably around 5'8", but still manages to get pace. Quite slingy. So will he be as successful as Darren Gough here?
Wow, I think he'd love half of that career, wouldn't he, Tom Aspinwall? In and bowling, playing a miss by Milan, looking to swat it away towards the leg side on the pull shot. Through to Josh Butler. He did feature quite a bit in the first few rounds of this competition. Picked up a little bit of a niggle, which then meant he's lost his place in the side, but has played T20 cricket so far this season for Lancashire Lightning, as Tom Aspinwall picking up 7 wickets from his first 6 games he played. In and balls, that's a lovely ball back in towards Milan, who drops it into the offside, and they go through for 1. Just nipping back in a little. Score moves on to 32 for 2.
Yeah, I really like him towards the death as well as a bowler. He seems to, his super skill seems to be his Yorkers. Bowls it slow into the pitch as well, keeps the batter guessing, but really good towards the death is Aspinwall as well.
Yeah, the Yorker's a real big weapon for him, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't actually see him bowling too frequently in the power play, so this is a newer phase of the game for him. Seems to bowl a lot through the middle, towards the death.
32 for 2. He's bustling his way back in again. Right arm over, bowls, goes for the Yorker. And Shafiq digs it out towards mid-wicket. Shy at the stumps, he could be... It's a direct hit, so you're never quite sure, but there's not a lot of excitement amongst the Lancashire supporters. Fine work by Wells, but looks like Shafiq has managed to just scramble through for a single.
Yeah, I think every run will count as well, so running well between the wickets will be key. Nice piece of fielding from Wells at mid-wicket. Running round and then targeting that at the bowler's end, hitting the stumps, but Shafiq had made his ground in the end.
33 for 2 brings Milan back on strike. Aspinwall in, balls to Milan, it's in the air, plenty of height. Can anyone get round to take the catch? Blatherwick doing his best, forget that, he's actually gone for 6. For a second it looked like he got a mile up in the air and not much distance. Milan actually gets 6 down to fine leg with it. He moves to 18, 39 for 2.
Well, it felt like it was a big top edge. He put a lot of swing into that, did David Milan, but it didn't go where he expected. Up and over fine. It hung in the air for some time. Blatherwick got the way round, but it ended up keeping going and over the ropes.
39 for 2. Aspinwall Bowls to Milan, that's nudged away off his hip, down towards deep backward, square leg for a single. And Milan moves on to 19, 40 for 2. It's a quirky looking shot, wasn't it? It skied it. How on earth has it got the distance to get to fine leg for 6? Looked like it was going to drop just beyond the fielding circle from where I was. Unless my eyes are going a bit, which is probably true.
It was one of those that could have easily gone straight into Josh Butler's gloves. But it just kept going.
It did. Kept going and all the way for 6. 40 for 2. 1 ball left of the 5th over. Here's Aspinwall for Lancashire. In and bowling. Oh, and does that beat Butler? It does. It's gone for 4. Down towards the fine leg boundary. Shafiq just managing to almost toe poke it off the bottom end of the bat. Butler went leaping away to his left. Glove stretched out as far as he could do. He could make it. But it went beyond the webbing of the glove and down towards the boundary for 4. End of the 5th over, 44 for 2.
Well, he ended up playing that really nicely, did Shafiq. He set up early, turned his body front on towards Aspinwall, and then just guided that round the corner and paddled it past the right hand of Josh Butler, who'd seen him go early, so covered a lot of ground, diving through to the leg side. It was a Josh Butler shot himself, wasn't he? So that's how he could anticipate it and know it so well. It would have been an unbelievable, almost goalkeeper save if he'd have got there in the end.
David Seaman-like. I could probably pick a more modern version. But I'm going for David Seaman. Here's James Anderson in and balls up in the air by Milan. Running backwards from mid-off is Jennings, who's under it and takes the catch. Anderson, one arm up in the air, Shearer-like in celebration as he's mobbed by his teammates. Milan departs, Yorkshire 3 down, and Anderson gets his 2nd of the evening. Yorkshire 44 for 3 in the 6th, chasing 175 to win.
Well, that's a huge wicket for Lancashire. David Milan departs for 19, bowled Anderson, caught Jennings, and it's just hitting that length again from Anderson. Milan tries to play that up and over mid-off, doesn't get hold of it, it holds in the pitch. And a good catch by Jennings, made it look simple, but it was running back over his right shoulder. Takes it really nicely in the end. And that's a huge wicket for Lancashire, because really that's the backbone of the Yorkshire batting attack. Bairstow gone, Milan gone, Luxton gone.
James Wharton arrives.
It's going to take some work from this middle order. They've done the first half well of Yorkshire, containing Josh Butler.
2 for 16 for Anderson. In and balls to Wharton, who's pleading for the LBW, James Anderson. Wharton's on the move, trying to shape to work it to mid-wicket. Not out, says umpire Steve O'Shaughnessy. 44 for 3 in the 6th. Wharton and Shafiq, the 2 batters for Yorkshire. The Notts Outlaws have lost. The Lancashire are now guaranteed a quarter-final spot. Worcestershire Rapids beating the Notts Outlaws at New Road. So Worcestershire still well within reach of a quarter-final spot. Anderson bowls again. That's flicked away off the hit by Wharton, out towards mid-wicket. Blatherwick's got a whole acreage to try and get across to get to the ball, which he has done pretty sharply, but not before James Wharton comes back for 2, and Yorkshire move to 46 for 3.
Yeah, it's could end up being a very unusual Roses year where the home advantage doesn't give the sides a home advantage. It's looking good for Lancashire at the moment. 46 for 3. As James Anderson comes towering in.
Balls to Wharton. It's worked to mid-on. Sharp single, direct hit. And Lancashire are asking the question. They feel a little bit more optimistic about this one. And we do have the TV umpire in which he can take a closer look at it. I wouldn't say they're over optimistic, but there's a bit more about this run out appeal than the previous one. Another just direct hit.
Looking on the screen now, it looks like he's made it home. There's a roar of applause from the Yorkshire fans. He's made it home comfortably in the end as Wharton. But it's a good piece of fielding, and it's that sort of pressure Lancashire can keep applying. And it was Luke Wells with the hit again.
It was, yeah. He's been pretty sharp, hasn't he, in the field, Wells? Second direct hit of the evening.
Change in field now, so bringing mid-wicket across. So they've got extra open for Shafiq.
Here's Anderson over the wicket and balls. Let's just run off the face of the bat down towards short third man for a single. Score moves on to 48 for 3. One ball left of the power play.
I was just going to say, you often see this in the opening over on the offside where you're getting your slip from extra cover. But what Anderson's wanting to do is to entice Wharton, to entice Shafiq into a big blaring drive. There's a huge gap between mid-on and cover.
Anderson to Wharton, stepping across the stumps and nudging the ball out towards the leg side and hurtling through for 1. Wharton moves on to 4. That's 6 overs gone. That's the power play complete. 49 for 3 Yorkshire, chasing 175 to win. Milan for 19, Bairstow for 5, Luxem for 9, 2 for James Anderson, 1 for Luke Wood. Yorkshire have work to do, but it's a long way still to go in this game. Only 6 overs gone and 14 remain.
Absolutely, and that's a great spell from James Anderson. Seen 3 from him of the power play, going at 7 and over, taking 2 big scalps in Luxton and David Milan. I think he enjoyed the David Milan one. You can see the international rivalry playing into that as well. Jennings will stick with Aspinwall coming out of the power play. He's got cover, fine, square, deep mid-wicket and long on out.
Here's Tom Aspinwall. Balls to Wharton on the move and driving away square of the wicket for a single. Oh, there's a slight fumble by Blathwaite, but he's quickly onto it to deny Yorkshire a chance to come back for 2. That brings up Yorkshire's 50. For the loss of those 3 wickets, Wharton moves on to 5. Gets Shafiq back on strike.
Important that Yorkshire run here, because any fumble, they've got a 13th fielder in the crowd here, and that can add pressure onto Lancashire, but they've got to run hard in order to get that.
Aspinwall balls, he throws it wide of off stump and that's hammered away. Jennings from mid-off is chasing after it down towards the boundary. Those long legs of Jennings will eventually catch up with it, and they've come back for 2. He was tearing after that, wasn't he, Keaton Jennings?
Yeah, he wants the home quarter-final, does Keaton Jennings, and who would blame him?
52 for 3. The table as it stands: Lancashire Lightning top 32, Northants second 32, Durham third 30, and then 2 teams on 28, the Bears and Worcestershire Rapids. Aspinwall balls full and straight and worked away by Shafiq out towards mid-wicket for 1 run. 53 for 3. So in that North group, Steelbacks and Lightning have qualified. Durham haven't as yet. So Durham, Bears, Worcestershire and Leicestershire are the 4 teams looking to try and finish in those other 2 qualifying positions. Aspinwall balls back of a length off the back foot by Wharton and pulled out towards mid-wicket, where Green is there in front of the western stand, becoming well acquainted, I'm sure, with some Yorkshire supporters. He said he was here last season fielding there. He got some stick because he was a Lancashire player, but also the fact that he was an Aussie. So he got kind of double barrels with Chris Green in front of the western stand. But he said he really enjoyed it. So he thought the whole thing was hilarious. 54 for 3. Aspinwall over the wicket, goes full. Oh, what a shot! Shafiq down the ground, straight on drive. 4 runs. Beauty by Shafiq. He moves to 19. 58 for 3.
Well, that's shot of the day for me for Shafiq. Driving on the up, beautifully down the ground, held his shape. The most perfect on drive, and it races away for 4.
Just a footnote to that North Group table as we get towards this final latter stages. As Aspinwall is in and bowling, again just back of a length and worked away behind, down towards fine leg by Shafiq. He want to hustle back for a couple, and he does. And moves on to 21. That's the end of the 7th over, 60 for 3 after 7. Worcestershire Rapids, who are just outside those qualification periods, they would need quite a lot to go in their favour because they've played 14 matches, so they would need the Bears to lose, and lose quite badly, for the net run rate to alter, and they'd need a lot to go in their favour. So of the 4 chasing for the final 2 spots, Durham, Bears and Leicestershire have a more realistic chance than Worcestershire going into those final round of fixtures tomorrow evening.
We almost need Lancashire to win tonight so that Scott Reed is really clear on the table and the end result, because if Yorkshire win, I don't know where that leaves us.
Oh, it leaves me confused. I'm confused most of my life. It wouldn't make any difference. Lancashire has still qualified, even if Yorkshire win, but
it may not be the home.
Not guaranteed just yet of a home tie. I think I'm due off at the end of this over for a break. 60 for 3. Here's Chris Green for the first time into James Wharton. Bowls, and that's driven back towards him off the bounce. And Green goes lurching away to his left to get both hands on that. And there's no addition to the score. Wharton on 6. Here's Green drying the ball.
Such a good bowler, such a good fielder off his own bowling as well, isn't he? Many that would just have gone down to long off for a single, but he covers so much ground.
He's in and bowls to Wharton. Muscled over mid-wicket, that'll be 4. Jennings, a tall man inside the circle at mid-wicket, trying to get up and stop it with his fingertips, but powerfully hit by James Wharton. He moves to 10, 64 for 3.
Yeah, plays that nicely, does Wharton. Rocks back onto the back foot and pulls that high up the ground, finding the humongous pocket out here in Headingley, and the ball races its way to the boundary. Great option from Wharton.
64 for 3. Wharton waits as Green's in and bowling. That's pushed away through mid-off for a single. I was about to attempt the South Group table, but I think I might just give that a miss and leave that to Kevin to do, because I don't have it.
All we know is that Danny Lamb has had a flyer and helped Sussex Sharks in their campaign. Ex-Lancashire player, played some brilliant knocks in these sort of games. Danny Lamb would always come out with a lot of runs and not many balls left.
Green in, balls to Shafiq, a much quicker ball. Green goes leaping after it, and then in the end almost falls into Wharton at the non-striker's end. He's sat on his backside, Chris Green. Well, I couldn't get to the ball because Wharton was stood there, but he's got every right to stand there as well. There's a single, 66 for 3. The top 4 in the South Group. Surrey are top, they've qualified, haven't they? Somerset second, they've qualified. Hampshire, they must have qualified, have they? Oh, I don't know. They're 3rd. Sussex are 4th, and just outside of Kent with 26 points in 5th, and Glamorgan with 24 points in 6th. As Green, he's in and bowls. Reverse sweep attempt, and he's bowled him. Wharton doesn't make contact, and the ball sneaks through the attempted reverse sweep, and Green strikes, and Yorkshire lose their 4th wicket. 66 for 4 with 1 ball left of the 8th over.
Well, it's well bowled by Green, but not the best option for Wharton there, reversing the off spinner after a good over so far. It gripped a little bit, but Green becomes a winner there, gets his victim. Wharton departs for 11.
And it brings out Don Bess. And Yorkshire in a bit of a mess here. Lancashire Lightning will be feeling pretty good about life at the minute. These T20 games, of course, can change quickly, but having got rid of Wharton now and Luxon, Bairstow and Milan before, Lancashire Lightning will feel that 175 is a long way off. In terms of the DLS score, just to give a little bit of a gauge as to where Yorkshire are, well, they at the end of this over would have to be at 74 to be level with the Duckworth Lewis Stern, so they are a little behind. It's not that far behind, but it's a bit still to make up when you've lost the power that they have done. Don Best, the new batter. waits for this delivery from Green, and that's chopped away through the offside for a welcome boundary for the home supporters. Best moves on to 4, end of the 8th, 70 for 4 Yorkshire, chasing 175 to win, so a further 105 required. Phoebe, a few thoughts on where the game's set up, and then Kevin Howells will come and join.
Oh, it's a lovely shot first up by Don Bess. A little bit of width, but carves that nicely through the offside. No one out in the deep, but Yorkshire have got themselves in a little pickle here. 70 for 4. As Jack Blatherwick comes into the attack. 12 overs remaining. A lot of work to do from this middle and lower order batters in the Yorkshire camp. The big hitters are back in the dugout. David Milan, gone. Johnny Bairstow, gone. Will Luxton, gone. James Wharton, gone. 4 down, 4 big names back in the dugout.
You're very intimidating when you do that. Shafiq's on 22, and that's worked away on the onside. He will get a single, he will move to 23. And the score is to 71 for 4 in the 9th over. This whole business of who's going to qualify, you know, I'm quite giddy about it. But it's almost getting to the point where it's too complicated to be giddy.
Yeah, well, it keeps it simple if Lancashire win tonight, doesn't it? But
it shouldn't all be about keeping life simple for us. I mean, fair play if the Yorkies won have a double. But you're right, you're spot on. It would make life an awful lot easier. But only in certain senses. That South group is looking a complete nightmare. This next ball is worked away by Bess, behind square leg side. You get a single, move to 5, 72 for 4, 103 to win. It's been a good night. Do you know, I'm obviously very interested in the result and how it's going to play out in the next remaining whatever overs it is, 12 overs. But I'm not even sure as the result is going to beat the reception that Jimmy Anderson got from a Yorkshire crowd.
It really was special, wasn't it?
I thought it was really, really. I'm not, you know, so deserved. Of course, so deserved, but so good. Shafiq will turn that behind square on the onside for a single, and he moves to 24, 73 for 4, midway through the 9th over, because it was last week at the Roses match where he obviously gets great response at Lancashire there, and Jimmy's had that response quite similar everywhere he's gone. Brilliant response. Blatherwick runs away from us. In bowls, clipped away, a little uppish but safe towards mid-wicket. Best moves to 6, and the score 74 for 4 now. But there was part of me, and bad of me to think this, that the only place that maybe he wouldn't get that sort of response was, you know, pantomime style, albeit, would be here. And I'm so chuffed for that real special moment when he came out. And well done to all involved. Terrific. Blatherwick in. Ball shorter. Oh, and looking to lift that one away. Uppercut it. Shafiq can't get anything on it. Through to the keeper.
It's bowled really nicely this year, has Blatherwick, for Lancashire. Come in and worked through this middle over phase. Little bit at the death, but more this sort of chunk of the middle of the game where he's just bowled a hard length, used his bouncer well, and kept it quite simple.
It's going to Shafiq, who's on 24. This is high. It's gone fairly straight. It's going to get the better of the two fielders out here, and it's also going to be a 4. Keaton Jennings being one of them. Still applauds Blatherwick for that over, because that can sometimes happen.
Yeah, lovely shot.
Yeah, Jimmy was the other player running round. He's the one that's actually had to go over the rope and get the ball back. 78 for 4 after 9 overs, Phoebe.
Yeah, nice shot there by Shafiq. Just sat back deep in his crease and was able to hit Blatherwick's length up and over mid-off. Great shot, had to go deep to access it. It'll be the first time we see Luke Wells into the attack from the Howard stand.
Bowling out his field. Sorry, go on.
Just bowling with this massive boundary here on the leg side. The Eastern Terrace is bowling from the Rugby stand end, from the Howard stand end.
And he's going to be bowling to Bess, who is on 6, 97 to win from these remaining 11 overs, and looks to reverse this. What a strange looking shot that was in the end. Flat bats it out into the offside initially as he turned his body there. He moves to 7, 79 for 4 in the 10th over. Bit of controversy at the college tonight, by the way, Cheltenham College. You know, it went down to the last ball in Sussex Sharks. Then the Gloucesters are not happy because the umpire gave a wide on one of those where the batter shifted across. Next ball is worked away onto the onside, and Shafiq will scamper through for a single. And when it comes 80 for 4 here, when it comes down to a last ball to win in that last over and that wide given, and I think they ran one as well. Oh, they're not happy bunnies down there. I wouldn't want to be going there next week in the championship to pick up there's still a bit of a hangover from that. Wells in, and this is high over extra cover. One bounce and into the rope it goes. So Bess moves to 11 with that boundary. 84 for 4 in the 10th over. So it's at 91 to win. Now you can understand how that, if that call was incorrect, and these things can happen. Well, you can understand why seriously that's going to be a real frustration for Gloucester, because they're out of the competition now. It was a tough call for them even going into tonight's game, but that really puts pay to that, and the Sharks are still in with a shout. This is played by Bess for a single onto the onside. He moves to 12, 85 for 4 in the 10th over, but still well done to Sussex Sharks, of course. And at the end of this over, just to, well, I can probably do it now, can I? Are you going to give me time, Luke? No, you're not going to bowl. Shafiq's on 29.
Oh, Luke.
I know. Oh, he's got high and straight here. That's clear down into the Howard stand. It's a big 6 from Shafiq. He moves to 35. Yorkshire 91 for 4 in the 10th over. God, he put something behind that.
Well, we've started to hear the fans here at Headingley. It's woken them up this over. It's a wonderful shot straight down the ground for 6. The noise might still be cranking up.
Wells would have been better if he'd waited. I wanted him to. Shafiq's on 35. Oh, into the pads, better from Wells. That completely over. Yeah. So we're halfway point now. So this is 84 for the last 10 overs for Yorkshire to win. 6 wickets standing, 91 for 4. Shafiq on 35, Bess on 12. So Scott rightly pointed out that the Rapids with that win tonight over the Outlaws puts them level on points with Birmingham Bears, but outside the top 4. So the Bears in 4th and Rapids in 5th. But that run rate is mightily close. Both pluses, 0.228 for the Bears, 219 for the Rapids. Now that it will need the Bears to take a bit of a beating at Derby tomorrow night, but not a massive one. Now that's pretty close, is that?
It's an exciting competition. It's going down to the wire.
Leicestershire, they have a chance. They're playing the Yorkies. That game's tomorrow night as well. The Outlaws, we know, are playing Lancashire at Trent Bridge. And then the teams in 2nd and 3rd are playing each other. Can you believe it? Next ball, Bess, 12. He's been dropped. Oh, I thought that'd been caught out there at the mid-wicket boundary. That is not the place to put it down. And I feared that it was. It's Chris Green. In so many ways, it's the right man, because if there's a man who can cope with that sort of thing, I think it's going to be Chris Green.
Well, he's a remarkable fielder. Lancashire's best fielder on the pitch. And the roar from the Western Terrace when he dropped that. He'll be feeling the pressure now, but that's his bread and butter. It was tough, it came flat, it came hard, and just popped out of his hands in the end.
This is Wood to Shafiq, and he almost takes Bess's head off with this one. That's going to be a 4. Down to our left-hand side through long off. Oh, he really fancies it now, doesn't he? He's moved to 39. Yorkshire 96 for 4. Down to 79 to win. Oh, Chris Green. Of all the places to drop that catch.
Right in front of a very, very loud Western Terrace.
So we get Wood into Shafiq on 39. Slower ball this time from Wood. Onto the onside. Green comes running in. Roared on. Listen to that. Oh dear. I think I could be done for cruelty, you know. And he takes his hat off. I knew he'd join in. What a man. Terrific work. Back to the serious cricket. 97 for 4. 78 to win. Shafiq on 40. He goes back to Oz and he tells tales of the nights in Leeds.
Well, if you don't laugh, you cry. Well done, Chris Green.
Wood to Bess. Wardy goes to cut that one, does Bess. Oh, he's got a little nick on it. He's caught. Bess is out. Caught by the keeper. Leaning back, just trying to carve that one away, and just slightest of touches, you might think, off the top edge there. So that's a wicket gone. It's 5 down, 97 for 5. Caught Butler, bowled Wood for 13. Dominic Bess, 12 minutes, 8 balls, 2 fours. Well, it's been going really well for Yorkshire. For Shafiq at the other end. Just as a little setback there, a little setback, and takes the attention off Chris Green for a moment or two. Your thoughts on that dismissal, please?
Well, he's rocked back to his crease and tried to work that through third, but the pace and bounce of Wood has just beaten him. Got a real feather of an edge into Butler's gloves. Simple dismissal in the end. But after such a big over, could have just tried to rotate that. Dom Bess, who's off the back of a really good knock a few days ago. But it'll take a partnership here. They don't need to go at too much of a knot. It's 8 and over they require. The danger is going to be if they run out of batters here. 97 for 5. Will Sutherland. There's still Jordan Thompson left. But we need to see a partnership here for Yorkshire. The breakthrough comes from Luke Wood. Shafiq on the other end, 40 not out. As Will Sutherland faces up.
Indeed, Wood in, bowls square on the offside, and Sutherland is off the mark with a single. Oh, it's had a bit of everything here tonight. It's been good fun. And there's still more to come. More to come. 77 still needed. 98 for 5. 1 ball of this over remaining from Wood, who's bowled 2.5 overs, 2 for 22. They are getting a little louder now, aren't they? Away to our right and a little bit to our left. A little quieter to the left on the Old Eastern Stands, the member side over there. Wood bowls a little shorter, pulled away, 1 bounce, for Chris Green to get behind. Oh, I hope they all go to Chris Green tonight. 99 for 5. Shafiq on 41, Sutherland on 1. Wood has bowled 3 overs, 2 for 23, so it's 76 from 9 overs remaining. I was at another derby last night, so the Middlesex-Surrey game. Oh, it's a whole different atmosphere there at Lord's. It sounded like a test match atmosphere, to be honest with you. I mean, nice numbers, good crowd. Haven't had always good crowds there at Lord's. There's nothing like this.
Gets like this at a test match as well, doesn't it?
Well, I suppose, yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good point, mate. He's got a bowl now. Good. Chris Green. This is a chance for him to respond. He's bowled 1 over 1 for 10. And he's going to bowl to Shafiq, who's on 41, out to the reach of Green by some distance. To long on. Shafiq moves to 42, and it brings up the Yorkshire 100 for 5. And that will be in the 12th over. How many of these do you come to watch these as, you know, a general cricket fan, these Roses matches? You've been along when you were younger?
I don't think I did actually. No, I didn't watch a lot of county cricket when I was younger. I was playing a lot, and my dad played a lot. So
yeah. So you're always busy doing that. Sutherland on 1, pushes back to Green, dives to his right-hand side. A couple of years ago, I actually came with my boy, and we were out in the crowd, so to speak.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's noisy. It is very, very noisy. And of course, he being a Skipton lad was a bit of a Yorkie fan, and Yorkies didn't win that night, so he wasn't best pleased. This one is pulled behind on the leg side, goes into the boundary rope. It's going to be 4 runs. For Sutherland, he moves to 5, 104 for 5, midway through the 12th over. But it is something extraordinary. I mean, we enjoy it here in the commentary box and everything, but it does feel out there
More hostile, yeah.
Well, yeah. I managed to take us away, being the good dad, I took us away from the real hostile spots, but it still felt a bit that way, yeah. Sutherland's on 5, 104 for 5, and that's squeezed away onto the onside. And of course, as you get with any youngster, when I say, oh, I think we move to another part of the ground. Oh, Dad, do we have to? Yes. 104 for 5, 2 balls left. This over, and Green in bowls. Quicker from Green, driven on the offside, up to the long off boundary, a single. So just ticking along here.
Be interesting how Shafiq plays this, because they've got the runs off the over they require. He's going at some knot here from his 42, striking at 180. Will he play the situation, or will he try get Yorkshire ahead?
Green in again, Shafiq in the air, but in between the two fielders, behind square on the offside, rolls into the rope. It's 4 runs. He moves to 46, 109 for 5. Well, Shafiq here could make himself very popular with the home support if he can steer them to a Roses double. All that talk of qualification, who cares, they say from the Western Terrace, who cares about the qualification? It's all about the double Roses win. Can they get there?
They would love it, wouldn't they? They'd love it. They were outstanding on Friday. Old Trafford with Yorkshire best, always brilliant. These what I love about these games as well, and you mentioned, I think with Phoebe in the first innings, it's just starting to kind of simmer nicely. It does build, doesn't it, as the night goes on? It's brilliant fun. They're fantastic games of cricket, and especially when they're close games. As Blatherwick comes in and bowls to Sutherland, that's clipped away towards the leg side. They'll go through for 1, but just a single. Sutherland moves on to 7, 110 for 5. They are magnificent fun when they're close games. Is it last season where Lancashire won final ball, Tom Hartley taking the catch? Was that last season? It might have been the season before, I can't remember now.
Well, that was the one where, talking about with the boy, I think that was the one where Lanky won. He won these because he's
final ball of the game, wasn't it? Yeah. Blatherwick balls, that's run down towards third man by Shafiq for a single. He moves to 47, 111 for 5.
I mean, Tom, as always with Tom, he was very understated after he took the catch. I seem to remember.
Was he up?
That didn't help the temper. But it only lasted a short time. Yeah. Players need to realise there are parents out there who are trying to keep their children well behaved.
Blatherwick over the wicket, balls pulled away out towards the leg side. That'll be 4 by Sutherland. 2 fielders on that leg side boundary, a deep square leg, a deep mid wicket. He's picked out the gap between 2 of them. 115 for 5. Sutherland moves to 11. Yeah, when Hartley took the catch, he turned around, didn't he, and give it to...
He did a bit. Yeah.
Is that where you were sat?
No.
Oh, right.
You could see it.
I got you.
I think we're right-hand side of the Howard stand over there. As I say, try to take us away from the area that maybe wasn't the wisest to do.
Fair enough. 60 to win. There's Blatherwick balls again. Clipped away leg side. That'll be 4 more. Out towards the western stand. Back-to-back boundaries. Sutherland moves on to 15. And Yorkshire supporters back on their feet. Fancy another Roses win here. Need 58 more runs to win. 4 balls left of the 13th over. And then 7 overs to come. 119 for 5.
Hampshire Hawks at 221. They're 6th in the South Group. Essex 76 for 2 in the 7th over.
Jack Blatherwick over the wicket, in balls, hit down the ground by Sutherland. That might be a couple more, no, just a single in the end. Anderson comes round from long on to field. Score moves to 120 for 5.
Got himself a 100 gig now, as Jimmy.
He has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Got his 100 call on Manchester original.
He is. He's an original, and he sort of comes from Manchester. Sort of. Burnley. But it's good for the Burnley. Can you imagine the Burnley originals?
What a team.
What a team
they would be. They take the competition by storm. Here's Blatherwick ins, back of a length to Shafiq. That's run away down towards short third. Throw comes in again. Luke Wells is direct hit every time. but he's home safely. End of the over, 7 to go, 55 to win, 120 for 5.
You know, because I is so old, I go way back to when the idea of the 100 and the urban teams was just being talked about as a bit of a thing. And Fred had made a trip back to Manchester to publicise something. I think it was the thing over in UAE or something. And I had to throw a question at the press conference. Fred, how would you feel if instead of playing for Lancashire, you were playing for a team with a town name? And he said like Manchester. He said, oh, I'm not so sure about that. He said, Preston, he said. He said, that'll be a good idea. I'd like to play for Preston. And loved it, Fred. Loved it. Of course, now he's here with the Superchargers.
He is. He's a Yorkshireman, isn't he now?
Well, the team in Leeds. It's not Yorkshire, is it? This is Yorkshire.
Well, you know what I mean.
It's a Leeds team.
It's a Leeds team.
It's a Leeds team.
He's a Leedsman, then.
Yeah, Leedsman. A Leedsman.
Is that such a thing?
The Odeon, I think. No, something like that. Right. Something like that. Sunderland on 16, 120 for 5, worked away through mid-wicket. And a single becomes 2. Oh, shall we dance as they go back for a second?
That was lovely, wasn't it?
It was a beautiful move.
It was. Nice hips.
Oh, it's a 10 from Shirley Ballas.
Oh, won't go that far.
Would you not?
7.
Oh, you're like that Craig lad at the end, aren't you?
Craig Revel, what's his job?
Yeah. Bit mean and miserable with a 7.
No, 7. That 7's all right for that.
I'd give it a 10. Next ball, driven offside towards extra cover and single for Sutherland. He moves to 19, 123 for 5. Down to 52. Oh, there's a lot of balls remaining. This 52. They're well placed here, Yorkshire, for a double.
Yeah, a good spot. Shafiq's been brilliant, hasn't he? 47 from 28. Great little counter-attack. When Lancashire picked up that 5th wicket, they'll be thinking the game's in their control, but Shafiq's counter-attack has been brilliant.
And the home chant is underway. Shafiq on 47, up and over the field. How far's gone? 1 bounce at 4. Cheers for the half-century for Shafiq. 51 not out, doing a terrific job here for the Yorkies. 127 for 5.
Great knock.
And it was 46 minutes, 29 balls,
correct.
7 fours and a 6.
Spot on.
Abdullah Shafiq getting the crowd well and truly on their feet. The Reedmeister's having a bit of a jig here as well. It's party time in Leeds. Next ball. Played and kept down really nicely by Shafiq for a single. Come back for what happened there? I was looking back in the middle.
Bit of a fumble.
Who's the culprit?
Well, it was Jack Blatherwick. He's normally very good.
It doesn't stop him from being a culprit.
Well, no, he was. He fumbled it, but he didn't do any further damage.
Was Aspinwall compared? Shall I compare thee to Darren Gough?
That's Phoebe's comparison, yeah.
Oh, she's looking at the bowling action. Sutherland on 19, driven there through extra cover, and there'll be a single. I thought maybe she was looking at the wider load issue, which Gough used to pull off brilliantly. I used to follow Yorkshire around all the time with Gough. He was one of the entertainers. Really, you'll know he was. And used to suffer a little bit because his response, if things weren't going well, he'd still smile, he'd still try and enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Which I think is the way to do
absolutely,
it.
Yeah.
Other people thought he should maybe still be a bit more serious.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Not for me.
No, not me. Shafiq will move to 53 and let's go up to 130 for 5. So this is all becoming a little too easy.
Yeah, need wickets.
Wickets needed here by Lancashire, although they are certain of qualification. Not as yet certain of
home qualification.
Home tie.
No, they're not. No, they would need because
Durham run rate's good though, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Well,
of course, Durham could finish above them on points.
They could finish on 34. Steelbacks couldn't finish on 34. If Durham finished on 34 or 36, they would have lost for Durham to have done that. 28. The Bears could also finish on 32. You see, with Derbyshire. So that's the one to look at there.
Yeah, better work to do.
Yeah. What a shame I'm not on tomorrow night. Good luck, everybody. I'll be thinking of you. I'll be thinking of you tomorrow. Yeah, honestly, I will. Don't look at me like I will be. I'll be thinking of everybody.
Will you?
Having to go through the calculations.
Yeah, look forward to that.
Yeah.
There's Jimmy Anderson. Lancashire need a wicket here. Shafiq on strike. Anderson in bowls, driven away, but straight to Jennings at cover, and there's no run. 130 for 5. Shafiq on 53.
The Foxes, you see, they could finish on 30 as well, couldn't they? So you could end up with three teams on 30 points. Take your calculator with you, Scott.
Okay. Anderson bowls again, throws it wide. That's in the air. He could be in bother. Jennings trying to catch up with it, just couldn't quite make it.
Good effort.
It was a real toe-ender, wasn't it, by Shafiq? Right off the toe end of the bat. Jennings has gone galloping round from extra cover towards mid-off. Put the dive in, just couldn't quite get fingers on it. Shafiq moves to 54. Yorkshire 135 for 5. Brings Sutherland back on strike. James Anderson from the Kirkstall Lane end. They need 44 to win. 35 balls left. Again, it's wide by Anderson and chopped down towards third man. Fielded inside the circle at short third by Tom Aspinwall. And they hurry through for 1. Sutherland moves to 21. 132 for 5. Brings Shafiq back on strike.
So in that South, Surrey and Somerset home quarter-finals, and then you go from 3 to 6. That's 4 teams looking for the final 2 spots. Hawks could make it definite. I mean, they're pretty strong anyway, so that could be then just that one place to be up for grabs come tomorrow night.
Anderson in, bowls, pulled by Shafiq, it's in the air and caught out on the deep square leg boundary. Anderson gets his 3rd wicket of the evening, and Shafiq, the danger man, who's hit a quick-fire 54 on the counter-attack for Yorkshire, is caught by Ashton Turner on that square leg boundary in front of the western stand, and Lancashire needed that breakthrough. 132 for 6 Yorkshire.
Yeah, the game also needed that performance from Shafiq. That was a real joy to watch. I mean, really important from Lancashire's perspective. He's gone now, but he's going to get a great reception as he leaves the field here, and rightly so. What a great knock. 7 fours and a 6. I mean, eventually you're not going to get something quite timed. You're not going to get the distance on it if you're going to play that sort of an innings, but it was so enjoyable.
Yeah, it was. It was a crucial knock for Yorkshire. It's got them in front in the match, hasn't it?
An emotional moment this, because for Jordan Thompson could well be his last Roses appearance before he goes off into the night.
Into the night.
Or as we say,
Edgbaston.
Edgbaston. That's right. Yeah.
132 for 6. Anderson 3 for 23 from his 3.4 overs. Captain Keaton Jennings bringing Anderson back, desperately searching for a wicket. And Jimmy strikes. 132 for 6. So Thompson waits. Anderson comes over the wicket and bowls. And that's worked off the pads out towards square leg. And they'll shuffle through for a single. Thompson off the mark straight away. Yorkshire now 133 for 6, needing 42 more runs to win. There'll be 5 overs to get them at the end of this delivery from Anderson. Sutherland on 21. 133 for 6. Here he is to complete the over, the 15th of the innings, and his final of the night. And that's hit away through extra cover. And it's scooped up by Blatherwick, and on that extra cover boundary, neat work by Blatherwick, restricting Sutherland to just a single. Anderson's done for the day with the ball. He's bowled 4 overs, 3 for 25. Yorkshire 134 for 6, need 41 to win from 5 overs.
Oh, he can come again.
Jimmy?
Yeah, well, with a performance like that. Is Phoebe's going to come in and I'll just do a couple of overs with Phoebe? No, you're reaching for something. What do you need?
Reaching for my book.
You're reaching for... Oh, you need to book. You keep a book.
My book.
Very good, that.
My book.
You need to fill in all the details, do you? Then?
I do.
Before you forget.
Quite right.
So, 41 with the 4 wickets standing. And the man who's going so well is now out. Sutherland's on 22, driven there to extra cover. They'll go through for 1. They'll have to be sharp about it. They spent a long time looking there to see if that ball was going to be fielded cleanly by Tom Aspinwall. And when it worked out that it wasn't necessarily going to be that clean a pick up and throw. They went through for the single. 135 for 6, so 40 to win from 4.5 overs. This is Green bowling here. It's his third over, 1 for 21. His figures currently read he's just into his third now. Comes around the wicket, worked away, leg side. They'll get one, settle for one. Sutherland and Thompson. That's the pair for Yorkshire. They've all a little quieter. They're wanting to see the boundaries again. They want to see the sixes, the fours. Ultimately, they want to see a home win for Yorkshire. We talk about their season and the fact they're out of the competition. They've played 12. They've won 4, but they've lost 8. And even off the back of that victory on Friday, they couldn't follow it up. It's been a real disappointing campaign, really, for them. It really has. The Falcons, likewise, they're at the bottom with 4 from their 13, but they could play an important role tomorrow against Birmingham Bears. That's out through extra cover. One-handed attempt at a stop. Doesn't really cost anything in terms of runs. There was always a single, and it remained a single. So down to 38 to win now. Lancashire players been sent hither and thither by Chris Green. And for the left-handed Thompson, who's on 2. Green bowls for him, chipped straight back up at him, caught and bowled, and he's out. Not the way Thompson wanted to end his Rose's time here. He's gone for 2. Green has taken a good caught and bowled, and that's the 7th wicket down to 137 for 7. Twists and turns here now. 38 to win, but they're running out of wickets.
Yeah, could be set for another real thriller at the back end of the run chase in this Roses fixture. It's such a soft dismissal, that, isn't it? It'll be gutter Jordan Thompson, his last contribution in this particular fixture in the Roses games, and he's just chipped one back to Chris Green. Takes a pretty comfortable catch off his own bowling, and Sutherland, who's a man that's in, he's faced 20, he's got 24 from 16, and looks like he's hitting it pretty nicely. He's someone to stick with him. Matt Milnes is the new batter. In terms of runs required and balls left, that's not a problem for Yorkshire. Wickets in hand might be. 7 down now, and still needing 38 to get with 26 balls left.
Matt Milnes is the new batter out in the middle. So a look around, takes in a bit of the atmosphere, tries then to ignore the atmosphere maybe. Push back up to Green for no run. Running round here, they need to make sure they get these overs. The cut-off time will appear at some point. I mean, he's a lovely lad. It's nice to see the picture of Matt Milnes, but quite nice to see the score again now on the scoreboard. Perhaps his mum or something asked for it to be up a little bit longer. I don't know. Drilled back up to Green. The dot ball to finish off. Oh, there is a bit of running around. That cut-off time could come into play. So here is the board. 137 for 7. 38. The cut-off time of what's that? 26 or 21, 26. Oh, 4 overs left. Oh, we're going to do that, aren't we?
Well, they obviously think they might be a bit tight.
137 for 7. Sutherland on 24. Milnes faced 2 dot balls there. And the DLS that you were talking about earlier, which is always a good measure, bracket close, but look at the blubbing board again. But anyway, I think there's only 3 runs in the difference. 140 I think that is set at, and we're at 137. And Luke Wood's going to carry on here. Yeah, and I'm going to move out here. Phoebes to come in now, I think.
Okay, cheers, Kevin. Yeah, just three behind on the Duckworth Lewis Stearns. There's not a lot in it. They're right in it in terms of runs. Wood in, left arm over balls, crunched away by Sutherland. Fielded by Jennings at extra cover inside the fielding circle, and there's 1 run. So 138 for 7. So what's that? 23 balls left, and 37 runs to get. Matt Milnes is the new batter. Luke Wood has got 2 corrections. He's got 1 over left. Lancashire got to use. Jimmy's bowled out, hasn't he? He's bowled 4. Aspinwall's got 1, Green's got 1. Here's Wood, left arm over balls, in the air by Milnes. Has he got enough? Oh, you bet he has. He's a dozen rows back, he's into the crowd. The fancy dressers are up celebrating a 6 for Yorkshire. Matt Milnes wallops it high towards that western terrace. Yorkshire 31 to win, 22 balls left. Phoebe Graham's back with us.
Well, they've brought Wood on early. They haven't saved him for the final through because they want him to kill the game, but instead he's been hit for a maximum. 31 to win. Off 3.4, it's going to be a tight finish.
Wood left arm over Bowles, throws it wide, and that's hammered out through the offside for a single. Takes it down to 30 to win, 21 balls left. 3 wickets in hand. Yorkshire 145 for 7. Sutherland on 25 not out. Wood's final over. It is a bit of a gamble, isn't it, to bring Wood back this early?
I think they're thinking here, one more wicket and it kills the game. The other thing is, this is the hardest end to bowl at because of how short the boundary is towards the western terrace, so Yorkshire will be targeting this.
Wood to Sutherland, again fallen wide and driven out through the offside for a single. Sutherland to 26 not out, and Yorkshire are now 146 for 7, need 29 to win, 20 balls left.
The 2 best bowlers of the night, Wood, Anderson, they'll be bowled out. Green will have 1 left, and then it'll be the young bowlers in Aspinwall, Blatherwick, potentially Wells.
Wood to Milnes, again strikes that cleanly and quite sweetly away through the offside, but straight to deep extra cover for a single. 19 balls left, 28 to win. Yeah, I mean, Green's a certainty, isn't it, to bowl 1? And as you say, it's a choice then between.
Feels like the only option from that far end could be spin, but 2 overs of spin and the final over of spin feels risky.
Especially when one of them's Luke Wells.
Absolutely. So I think the next over will dictate the formula.
There's Wood, bowls again throws it full and wide of off stump. It's a really good delivery. It's a swing from Sutherland. It's a swing and a miss, I think. Lancashire just ask him if he's nicked it behind. But no, he hasn't. That was slightly bizarre because Lancashire were just wondering whether it was just a little thin edge through to the keeper. Anyway, it's the end of the over. So Yorkshire 147 for 7. They need 28 to win with 18 balls left.
Well, there was half an appeal for from Luke Wood, but you could even see from his body language that he wasn't convinced. But we've got 3 overs left. Chris Green is taking the over from the Howard stand. Jack Blatherwick has overs. Tom Aspinwall has overs. Luke Wells, but all 3 have been expensive.
Here is Green. Starts a fresh over. Bowles, dot ball to begin with. Worked into the onside by Milnes. Picked up at mid-wicket and there's no run. 17 balls left. Still 28 to win. Green firing his first in quickly. And he's slowly creeping back in and bowls to Milnes, who drives it away through the offside. Through mid-off for a single. Takes it to 27 to win.
Green needs to leave as many runs possible here for Aspinwall and Blatherwick, who I think will take the final 2.
I agree. It's a bit too much risk, isn't it, for Wells? Looks like might be the young fast bowlers to try and see it through for Lancashire. Here's Green to Sutherland. Little step to the leg side and works the ball away through point. Quickly round is Ashton Turner. Sends it in towards the gloves of Joss Buckley. Yorkshire get 1 more. 26 more required. 15 balls left. It's 149 for 7. Sutherland's on 27 at the non-strikers end. Milnes on 9. He's the man on strike. Green from the football stand end. Floodlights beaming down. Yorkshire sensing a victory. Green in and bowls. Chops it back beyond the reach of Green. Does Matt Milnes off a thickish bottom edge. Through he goes for a single.
It's wonderful bowling here by Green. Pressure situation, is only going at singles.
He's got 2 left, Chris Green. Here he is bowling to Sutherland. Goes again. Sutherland swings. Big thick inner half of the bat. The ball squirts away towards backward square leg and they scamper through for one. Leaving Green with one ball left to go tonight. It's been an outstanding final over by Chris Green.
It's been brilliant, hasn't it? But Jennings has played all his cards early. Green will be bowled out after this delivery.
Can he get through it without conceding a boundary and give Aspinwall and Blatherwick something to work with? Green in, bowls, wants the LB, gets the LB. Outstanding night by Chris Green yet again for Lancashire. Picks up his 3rd wicket of the evening and finishes his 4-over spell. Yorkshire lose their 8th wicket. They've got 12 deliveries to go and they are 151 for 8. They need 24 to win off 12 deliveries, but just 2 wickets in hand, and Green strikes again. As we welcome listeners on Sports Extra to the back end of this Roses fixture here at Headingley, where Lancashire finished on 174, were bowled out for 174. With Jimmy Anderson facing the last ball of the innings. He got a standing ovation as he went out to bat. And he faced one ball and was bowled by Jordan Thompson for naught. Josh Butler top scored, making 76. 175 is the target for Yorkshire to win the game. They can't qualify, Yorkshire, but boy, would they like to make it back-to-back Roses wins this season. They beat Lancashire at Old Trafford last Friday. Lancashire know a win secures them a home quarter final, but they are 8 down. Here's Tom Aspinwall in, full and wide, hammered away, in the air and caught. Blatherwick at deep extra cover takes the catch, and Will Sutherland departs for 28, and Yorkshire are 9 down, 151 for 9, and they still need 24 to win. They've 11 balls left, but the final partnership coming together. Scott Reed and Phoebe Graham here at Headingley, and Phoebe, what a way to start it for Tom Aspinwall.
Well, fantastic from Aspinwall. He's gone into the pitch and Sutherland's played his hands through that, and it's gone hard, it's gone flat and straight into the deep to cover. Keaton Jennings takes a comfortable catch, but it's a great piece of bowling from Aspinwall. They've got the victim. 2 wickets in 2 balls. 24 still required off 11 balls, but they're 9 down at Yorkshire. They've run out of batters nearly. Can they do anything to keep that Western Terrace alive? There are a few leaving.
They are. There's a few heading for the exits, and enough. We're off. In the Western stand away to our right-hand side. Well, for Yorkshire, we're hardly cruising. I don't think you can cruise to a victory in a Roses game, but how it swung the other way. 9 down, 1 more wicket wins it for Lancashire. Aspinwall in, bowls, low full toss. It's taken off the pads by Moriarty. Just flicked away towards square leg for a single. And it means that Yorkshire need 23 to win, but they've only got 10 balls to do it. And they can't afford a single mistake here with the bat. The final pair are together. Chauhan, the new batter, joining Moriarty. Yorkshire 152 for 9. These games often go down to the final ball or two. They can be won or lost in the final delivery of a match. If Yorkshire get it down to the final ball or two, then these two have done very, very well. Here's Aspinwall. Muscles in, bowls again. Playing a miss by Chauhan. Through it goes to Josh Butler. And it's down to single figures in terms of balls remaining. 9 deliveries left and still 23 required.
Well, Aspinwall running back to his mark. They're tight on time for the cut-off, and he's steaming in. He'll be going Yorker plan again.
Here he is, over the wicket, balls full and wide, and swing again by Chauhan, swing and a miss, and through it goes to Butler. And another dot ball. Terrific final over this by Tom Aspinwall, Phoebe.
Absolutely, it's his bread and butter, Yorkers. He loves bowling them, and he's managed to execute 4 from 4, including a wicket.
Yorkshire desperately need a boundary. Aspinwall bowls, and it's swung away by Chauhan down towards the wide 3rd boundary, but only for a single. Chauhan gets off the mark with that. 7 balls left and 22 required for Yorkshire. Moriarty needs to find some magic here. He needs to find and clear the ropes, but Aspinwall has not put a foot wrong so far. His final ball of the evening. 1-5, 3 for 9. Aspinwall bowls, swing and a miss by Moriarty. Through it goes to the wicket-keeper Jos Buttler. Brilliant by young Tom Aspinwall. His final over of the game. He gets the wicket, and with it gives Jack Blatherwick 22 runs to work with. 1 over to go, and Yorkshire need 22 to win.
Well, what an excellent back-to-back 2 overs from Chris Green and Tom Aspinwall. 2 wickets, 7 runs conceded, and it makes this final over almost impossible. 22 from it. Anything can happen. It gives Chauhan the freedom now, because he's got to deal in boundaries.
He has. Here's Jack Blatherwick, final over of the match, in and bowls. He's gone high, he's gone leg side, he could be caught, out on the boundary, deep backward square leg, and the catch is taken. Blatherwick picks up the wicket to wrap up the victory for Lancashire Lightning, caught by Matty Hurst at deep backward square leg. He had to swing, he needed boundaries, Yorkshire needed boundaries. Lancashire find the wicket, and they bowl Yorkshire out for 153 to win by 21 runs. Yorkshire won in Lancashire on Friday, and Lancashire win in Yorkshire the following Thursday night.
Ooh, what a great game of cricket. Lancashire win, qualify for a home quarter-final. That's what was on the line for Lancashire tonight, and they've bowled outstandingly at the death there. Chris Green, brilliant. James Anderson, awesome with the new ball. And they've beaten Yorkshire by 22 runs. And in the end, Yorkshire just ran out of batters. It wasn't the total that was the problem. It was who was left at the crease. Fantastic night for Lancashire. They managed to get their revenge on Yorkshire after a harrowing Friday night in Manchester last Friday, where they got Johnny Bairstow. They've had their return favour. Luke Wood bowled Johnny Bairstow, and it's a great night for Lancashire in Headingley.
It is, and that crucial home T20 quarter-final where they'll play either Hampshire, Sussex, Kent or Glamorgan at Emirates Old Trafford. Surrey and Somerset are finishing first and second in the South Group. So they await their opponents in the quarter-final, but they've got there after an impressive win at Yorkshire. What a quirky way the T20's worked this season, and the Roses fixture in particular, Phoebe, with, you think, home advantage having such an important part to play in it, but actually Yorkshire hammering Lancashire last Friday at Old Trafford, and then Lancashire less than a week later coming to a full Headingley and putting together a really impressive bowling and fielding display after what we thought might, in the end, be a score that might not be good enough.
Absolutely, and it goes against all the stats for the Roses games across the years. You normally have that huge home advantage with 2 sellout stadiums here at Headingley and at Emirates Old Trafford, and it felt like tonight they hadn't posted enough runs at Lancashire, but Yorkshire just ran out of batters at the end, and it was a tricky wicket. The bowlers were always in it, and with this huge boundary square towards the eastern terrace, it meant that catching opportunities were there, and that's what did people in the end, was going for the big boundary. A lot of catches. The wicket was a little bit too paced, but in the end Lancashire took home the victory, and it was a well played innings in the end.
And actually the manner in which they've managed to defend that score as well, Phoebe, kind of going forward, you're looking at how do you win T20 games when it gets to the knockout stages. The fact that they've managed to defend what might be a score which, well, in the end it's proved enough, hasn't it, 174, but maybe they're thinking at the halfway stage we've left a few out there. The fact that they've managed to defend it in that manner will, I'm sure, do them a great deal of confidence going forward in that quarter-final tie.
Absolutely, and I think with the lineup that Lancashire have, it was quite surprising that Jos Buttler didn't have a partner in crime or a true partnership at the crease. He anchored the innings with 77 off 46 deliveries, struck at 170, but it felt like a contained innings for Buttler because he didn't have anyone at the end that just stayed with him throughout. But I guess that was a similar situation for the Yorkshire attack as well. Apart from Shafiq, no one really contributed significantly to the innings. Sutherland towards the back end got 28 off 22, and I think if he was there at the end, it would have changed the scenario towards the end as well. But it just felt like a wicket that was difficult to score on, and actually meant that you could take wickets throughout the 20 overs, and it proved that 174 was enough.
Indeed it was. It's enough to secure Lancashire's position at the top of the North Group and secure a home T20 quarter-final. That is also the case for Northamptonshire Steelbacks. They're second, but have got themselves a home quarter-final. Sorry, they've qualified for the quarter-finals. They can guarantee themselves a home quarter-final if they win tomorrow evening at Durham. That's a bit of a shootout, really, for those top two positions. Northants are second, Durham are third. The winners of that tie tomorrow between Northamptonshire and Durham will secure a home T20 quarter-final. Lancashire already will be at Old Trafford for the knockout stages, and then the North Group will be made up of the Bears or the Worcestershire Rapids or the Leicestershire Foxes, I think, basically. Nottinghamshire and Notts Outlaws losing at Worcestershire tonight means that they really can't qualify because the net run rate is just so poor compared to the Bears, who are above them in that North Group table. So Durham and the Bears and the Rapids and the Foxes go into the final round of fixtures still in with a chance of winning. The Worcestershire can't add to their points tally. They've played their 14 group games. Durham, Bears and the Foxes can. Northants are qualified and they can secure a home quarter-final with a win up at Durham tomorrow evening. As I say, if Durham beat Northants tomorrow, then Durham will get a home quarter-final tie. That's a really good game there. Straight shootout between the second and third place North Group teams. In the South Group, Surrey and Somerset are already through, so Lancashire will be looking at either Hampshire, Sussex, Kent or Glamorgan to face at Emirates Old Trafford in that knockout stage in the first week of September. Great fun tonight, Phoebe. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. No, great game of cricket, and yeah, unusual turn of results to see both Yorkshire lose at home, Lancashire lose at home, but great atmosphere for the Roses matches and exciting way for Lancashire to finish their campaign.
Indeed, they'll round it off tomorrow at Trent Bridge against the Notts Outlaws, where they can finish top of the group if they win that game at Trent Bridge. 6:30 start. Good luck at Blackpool tomorrow for the final round of T20 Blast fixtures for you.
Thank you very much, Scott.
2:30 start against Somerset.
That's right, at the Stanley Park.
Happy
yeah,
days.
Can't wait.
Get to the seaside.
Absolutely, get there early and get to the pleasure beach, I think.
Or maybe save the pleasure beach until after.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Phoebe Graham, and to Kevin Howells tonight. Lancashire coming to Yorkshire and winning and getting revenge on that defeat at Old Trafford last Friday evening. The Blast campaign will be concluded tomorrow. Eventually, and then the quarterfinals will take place just before Christmas. First week in September. So join us on the BBC Sport website and app, usual places, for tomorrow night's final round of T20 fixtures from Old Trafford. Congratulations to Lancashire. A home quarter-final secured. They've beaten Yorkshire by 21 runs.